Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Matt Murphy Radio Show for another day. Conveniently, my name is Matt Murphy, and we'll be here until 7 o'clock, or they boot us off the radio and a variety of other platforms where we are, whichever comes first. Thank you for being with us on this Thursday, May 21, 2026. That's the year of our Lord. It is episode 1042, 1042 opportunities to speak with you. We appreciate every single one of them, and I thank you for giving us a little bit of time, of your time and consideration today, whatever time you're able to give us. We mentioned the Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I just got to, sorry, I've got to, a little technical difficulty here. I got to thunk it. Thunk. Okay, there you go. Thunking, mission accomplished. We're on a variety of platforms, pleasantries. Start the show. We're on iHeart, TuneIn, Spotify. You can also find us on our own app, Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Take us wherever you'd like to go. You may find us on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. We'd love it if you gave us the old thumbs up, the like, subscribe, whatever on your platform is the indication that you appreciate what we're doing here. We would thank you for that. We've got a lot to get into, not the least of which is the latest information that's coming out mere hours ago regarding the Department of Justice and the state of Minnesota. But it's my understanding that the Ken Weaver touched on this. By the way, Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living, delivers them twice an hour when it breaks. Hello, Brother Weaver.
How about you boys?
You doing all right, Ken?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Glad to hear it. I've got something to talk to you about in a moment.
All righty.
Don't let me forget.
All righty.
Don't you love it when people do that?
I need to tell you something.
Hey, I need to tell you something later. Don't let me forget. So now I put it on you. So now if I forget, I was like, well, I told you not to let me forget. That's unfair. No, it's about the thing I gave you earlier, a couple of minutes ago. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's really cool. Completely unnecessary, but really cool.
Oh, it's pretty good. More on that. Jackson's got one, too. I got one in the house. Mine says Murphy-Lago. It does. It's Murphy-Lago established January 8th, 2026, which is the day we signed on the house.
Yes, sir.
So that's pretty cool. Well, we'll go ahead and do that. So before we do the other.
Okay.
Mike, a good friend and loyal listener to the show, Mike, who is a resident of the greater Mount Pleasant area. I don't think he lives technically in Mount Pleasant, but he lives near me.
Yes, sir.
He hit me up on, I guess, social media. You might have texted me and said, hey, Murph, I've got something to bring. Do you mind if I've got something for you guys on the show. Do you mind if I bring it to you? And I was like, well, sure, come on, let's go. And he brought me a lovely plaque. He does that. He burns that into the wood, Ken.
It smells good.
Oh, it does smell good. It smells like, wood. It smells like a fire pit.
Yes, sir.
It smells like an incredible opportunity to sit around with family and friends and listen to the crackle of an open fire. But would you, Jackson, you got the, do we have the cameras on?
I have cameras on Ken and you. I left mine in the other room.
You left your camera in the other room?
No, I left mine.
Well, go get it while we talk. You got to go get it, Jackson.
Get yours, Brother Jackson.
Oh, have you seen Jackson's?
I have not.
Oh, Jackson's is pretty cool. I did not bring mine in. I left mine at home.
Man,
but
smells good.
Mine is similar in size and nature to Ken Weaver's. And if you hold it up there, what does it say, Ken?
It says, Ken Newsman Weaver. I just do the news, boys. Yes. And then, I'm Ken Weaver.
I'm Ken Weaver.
With two woodpeckers on either side.
Uh-huh. Two woodpeckers on there. That's pretty nice.
And notice the woodpeckers are alive and thriving.
They are. No bricks, which I appreciate.
I have reconciled with the woodpeckers.
Good for you, Ken. I mean, that just goes to show you that we can change. We all can change. Humans can change. Woodpeckers can change.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like there's been a coming together with you and the peckers. Mm-hmm. So that's Mike, who was cool enough to
Thank
make
you,
us
Brother
that.
Mike.
And I agree with you. That's what I told him. I was like, Mike, you don't have to do all of this. This is so sweet. He said, well, I had the time, and I just appreciate you guys in the afternoon. And we appreciate you, Mike. Every single one of you. We thank you. Now, Jackson's is just a little bit insane.
I got to see Brother Jackson's.
So mine says Murphy-Lago, and it's got my name on it. It's got his name on it. It's got established. I think I'm right here. January 8th, 2026, not 1926. That would be
that'd be something.
That would be something.
1926 was the year you were born.
Thank you, Jackson. I'm glad that you're back. young Jackson Williams. You know, Jackson, he of many nicknames. So Mike asked me, he texted me the other day, and he said, hey, can you tell me all of Jackson's nicknames? And so I did. I said, well, it's we got Action Jackson,
Yes, sir.
Reaction Jackson, Y2J, and J Willie.
Yes, sir.
I didn't include Truffle Butter, and I'm glad that I didn't. Because look at there. I mean, he's got his name there, and it's got a Tennessee logo on it.
All right.
Pretty cool. So
that is cool.
that's very nice. Very kind of you,
What's
Mike.
it smell like, Brother Jackson? Does it smell good?
Smells wonderful.
Yeah.
Like that, like the crackle of an evening
The
fire.
crackle of an evening fire.
It does. It does. So, Mike, you're very kind. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much for that.
Yes,
we
sir.
do appreciate that. Now, Jackson, did you print off? So we have Ken just reported on this, and I demanded of Jackson as the executive producer of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Ken reported that the Democrat National Committee
Yeah.
is looking into how the party lost the 2024 election, and they commissioned a report. Did you print that for me? Is that in my stack here? I don't think you did. Oh, here it is.
I can't wait to hear Brother Murphy's take on this.
Here it is. Okay, here it is. Oh, here it is. Here we go. All right, this is from the this fella. Who did this? It's a newly released report from the Democrat National Committee looking back on how the party lost the 2024 election. And here's the report. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Our ideas suck. Is that it? That's apparently it.
That's pretty deep analysis there, Brother Murphy.
That's pretty good. You know, these folks, I guess, say what you will about them. They don't back up. There's no self-reflection, and when there's a time for self-reflection, when they have an opportunity to figure out what they did wrong and what they did right, boy, they spit that bit every time. They concluded that by the way, my report is far more accurate than their report. Our ideas sucked is far more accurate in terms of why they lost the 2024 election cycle than this pablum that they came out with. So the conclusion was that then Vice President Kamala Harris lost in part because she failed to focus significant negative attention on Donald Trump. Pause for effect. So the conclusion of the Democrat Party was that they weren't negative enough against Donald Trump. They called him Adolf Hitler. One of their minions tried to blow his brains out. They declared him an authoritarian theocrat. They said that if we voted for Donald Trump, that it would literally be the end of democracy. They called him a rapist. They engaged in 4 separate acts of lawfare against him. New York, Washington, D.C., Georgia, Florida, all of which came to virtually nothing outside of the New York case, which was trumped up. And there was, well, you all know the New York case. None of it mattered. They claimed that he wanted to enslave or in some way criminalize all brown people. That he wanted to take us back to the days prior to... I mean, this was not that long ago. It was less than 2 years ago. What part of this do you think we have forgotten? I remember my analysis during the political campaign. Now, for one, y'all hung your hat on an aged, infirm, pooping himself, wearing the adult diapers guy that could not get through 5 minutes of his day without some sort of gaffe. And y'all thought this was the horse that you should ride to the 2024 election cycle. And then you decided when he had a disastrous debate performance that you would change horses in the middle of the stream and pretend like it was a democratic process, which it wasn't really a democratic process. But your analysis indicates to you that you weren't negative enough about Donald Trump? I'm asking this question as sincerely as I possibly can. I'm not trying to bait anyone, although I'm a master at it. Huh? Never mind. I'm not trying to bait anybody. I'm not feigning ignorance on this. I sincerely want to know, what more could the Democrats have done to be more negative against Donald Trump? They were so negative that multiple people attempted to kill him. They regularly compared him to Adolf Hitler, and still do. They regularly refer to him as an authoritarian, as a dictator, as someone who would be the damnation of democracy as we know it in the United States of America, as someone, despite the fact that he had previously done so, would refuse to cede power if he were granted power. I genuinely do not know how the Democrat Party or the Democrats themselves or Kamala Harris and her moron running mate Tim Walz could have been more negative. I don't. I remember as they made the transition to Kamala Harris, my fear was that it would give them an opportunity to actually present ideas that the American people supported, and they didn't do any of that either. I remember that my analysis included talking to all of you in the summer of 2024 about how negativity doesn't win elections. Ideas win elections. Ideas like, I don't know, America is a sovereign country and our borders ought to reflect it. Or we need to get the economy roaring again and gasoline prices down again. And I understand where gasoline prices are now. I'm not saying that. I'm saying back then, that was the message that Donald Trump was bringing to the table. He was also bringing a no new wars message to the table in 2024. And all of that is fair discussion at this stage in the proceedings as we lead up into the midterm elections. I am fascinated by people who are so blinded by what they perceive as their own infallibility that they can't reflect on their failures and adequately understand why they failed. If you cannot use a failure to your own advantage, if you cannot use failure is such a wonderful opportunity, and we should look at it that way. One of my favorite quotes is from Samuel Beckett, a playwright, who said, "Ever tried? Ever failed? It's no matter. Try again. Fail better. Fail better. And eventually it will not be a failure." Now, I'm adding this last part. His stopped with fail better. Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Fail better. The point is, if you strive to fail better every time that you do, at some point failure doesn't come. Success does. But you have to be willing to reflect on what created the failures to begin with. One of the best things that this country has going for it is that the Democrats think you're stupid. And they have no ability to self-reflect. They think they are so much smarter than you, and they always overplay their hand. Always. And this was my analysis in the summer of 2024. I'm like, they're overplaying their hand. They're talking about Donald Trump as if my goodness, reasonable people know this isn't so. He simply has a different idea about the direction of the United States of America. Present your own ideas as superior to his own. And that's the winning strategy. But they don't have any good ideas. Once again, back to my analysis. Our ideas suck. So they couldn't highlight them. Their ideas, open border policies, spend freely and at will, allow the fraud, waste, and abuse to continue. There are no genders any longer. Men can play whatever sports they want. They can destroy the little girls and run roughshod over their locker rooms, and let's have some surgery on them when they're 8 years old. These are the types of things they were promoting, and the American people said no. No. So it goes on. Paul Rivera is a chief Democrat strategist who was asked by the DNC to investigate why the party failed to win big in 2024. Why did we not win bigly, Paul? Paul says, the national campaign did not effectively drive Trump's negatives, and the White House did not effectively support Vice President Harris over 3.5 years to improve her standing before the candidate switch. Huh? What? What? So they're blaming Joe. They're blaming the old white dude. They're blaming Joe Biden, the guy who couldn't find his butt with a compass and a flashlight. That guy? Okay. All right. That's good. You know, once again, Republicans have their issues. The conservative movement has its issues. But the best thing America has going for it is that the Democrats are dumb as a box of hammers. And they absolutely refuse, 100% refuse to recognize any and all failures that they might have had in the past. And this is reflective of that. We're going to continue to have fun with it in just a moment. Scott Cepiki's coming up at 4 o'clock. We will discuss a number of items to include whether Scott knows it or not. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about the Iranian conflict and all of those things. We'll talk about the redistricting lines and how that is shaking out. The court cases have been consolidated. The redistricting court cases have been consolidated, which is a strong indication to me that this thing's going to be wrapped up sooner rather than later, and the new district lines will be in place in August when the primary happens. I expect that will be the case. We'll discuss with Cepiki, and we'll also talk to him about this slush fund of $600 million that the state of Tennessee apparently has to attract new businesses. I thought we were attractive enough without having to throw money at it. The Massie minions are mighty mad because Massie lost in his primary election cycle. Donald Trump has a lot of responsibility in that. We will discuss all of it with you on the phone, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. It's the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. Let me ask you a question. Are you tired of feeling like a number at the doctor's office? Sadly, that is often the case, right? Hours spent waiting to be seen. You have to wait days, if not weeks, before you can actually get in. And then you discover that your treatment is determined more by your insurance company than by you and your doctor, which is very frustrating in and of itself. Well, I have modern, affordable medicine that isn't frustrating, and it shouldn't be. At Grace Point Healthcare, it's where you're cared for without the red tape, without insurance guidelines, and you are usually seen the same day or the next day. Your care is provided when you need it, not just when convenient for your doctor. Grace Point Healthcare is modern, affordable medicine when you actually need it. Friends, make the call to 599-6868, 599-6868. I encourage you to contact Grace Point Healthcare. They're located in the heart of Franklin, available for anyone within the sound of my voice. Direct pay format means that you go, you see them. Smart care plans available for you. Ask them about that when you make the call that so many others have made. 599-6868. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way.
Scheduled execution in Nashville today was paused because they couldn't get the IV with the drugs into a vein. We've got that for you and other top stories at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you're currently watching on Talk TV, look what's in the background. We got some that's when, hey, Jackson, that's when television was the real deal there, buddy.
Is that a Western?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome.
I was trying to get. We have this at the house. This is Grit TV. Have you ever seen Grit TV?
Yeah, I got that. That's on 28.9 or something like that.
I love Grit TV.
I do too.
It's free to you and free to me. I mean, you don't have to. If you've got an internet connection, you've got Grit TV. And,
Either that or rabbit ears.
Oh yeah, I guess you could have rabbit ears.
Yeah,
you got rabbit ears over there, Ken?
I got rabbit ears on my TVs at home for these channels.
Oh man,
because I don't get them on cable. Well, I don't have cable.
I get mine through. It's a Samsung product. It's called Samsung TV Plus, and they draw in all of the free programming that is available. I guess over the air programming, and you can have it on the Samsung channel.
We watch cartoons.
What are you talking about, Brother Jackson? There's getting ready to be a gunfight.
I mean, look, there's a guy in a derby hat, and this is probably currently getting us thrown off of YouTube right now, if I know YouTube.
There's a couple of fancy fellas in this one.
That guy's a dandy. Oh, look, he's got a nice white suit on.
Boy, he might be a gunfighter.
Well, that's true. Look, Injun Joe's here. How the hell are you? He's from New York. So I was searching for our background because the television was off, and that's what I found. Jackson, you want to watch cartoons?
We watch cartoons.
Jackson, have you finished your homework?
No.
Have you finished your snack?
No.
Finish your homework and finish your snack, and then we can talk about cartoons.
I don't like peanut butter and celery.
Well, Mr. Weaver's going to do the news, okay?
Okay.
You got to be quiet. You got to be quiet while Mr. Ken does the news.
It's time for the news with Ken Weaver on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Mm-hmm.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And despite some of this recent rain, Rutherford County is asking you to stop using so much water. Avoid watering your lawn. Don't fill the pool. Just limit your water use right now because Rutherford County says they're in a severe drought and they don't want this thing to go mandatory. A scheduled execution in Nashville was paused today after they couldn't get the IV with the drugs into a vein on Tony Carruthers, convicted of kidnapping, robbing, and killing 3 people in 1994. Then tossing their bodies in a freshly dug grave meant for a funeral the following day. Those bodies found under a coffin. The medical examiner says even though 2 of the victims were shot, they suffocated, meaning they were buried alive. Governor Lee now granting a 1-year reprieve while Carruthers remains on death row. One of the Republicans running for governor is asking for the suspension of state taxes on gas, diesel, and food through the end of the fiscal year. State Rep Monty Fritz telling WTN's Chris Hand Show today he sent a letter to Governor Lee, Speaker Sexton, and Lieutenant Governor McNally yesterday.
I think this will help all Tennesseans. We have Tennesseans that are struggling not only to buy groceries, but to be able to put gas in their car to get to the grocery store.
Fritz says spending the state gas tax, while they're suspending the state gas tax, would save you 26 cents per gallon, 27 cents per gallon of diesel, and 4 cents per dollar on groceries. And we're waiting to see what the outcome is of this hearing on the state's new congressional map. The NAACP challenging the map in the state Supreme Court. They're asking the panel to block elections from moving forward under the new boundaries. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes, right lane block, 65 northbound, right there at the northern split. In Antioch, 24 westbound before Hickory Hollow Parkway. Capitol View got an injury crash, 40 eastbound at Church Street. Berry Hill, 65 southbound at I-440. And then Nolensville Pike near Harding Place. Northbound 65 to the south loop looks like a parking lot. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has 3 separate locations to serve you gentlemen in the Nashville and surrounding areas. First off, there's the OG in Nashville. Since 2014, Evan Bass and his incredible team of urologists at the Tennessee Men's Clinic have been providing quality care for you gentlemen, specifically when it comes to men's health and more specifically to men's sexual health. That's what it's all about, gentlemen, is getting you back in the game, making sure that you're living the life that you want to live and doing so in a way that that fits your lifestyle. Bottom line is this. If you're low energy and you're feeling it, if you've lost abilities that you once had, whether it's bedroom activity or whatever it might be, they can get you back into the game at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The second location's in Cool Springs and then in Clarksville, north of the city. So convenient to those of you just north of Nashville. Give them a call today at 615-208-9090 and schedule that appointment. Do this. Less than $100 can give you a full consultation. They'll get a little blood work from you and they'll figure out what's going on in your body and they'll get you right and back into the ball game, gentlemen. It's the Tennessee Men's Clinic, online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. You know, there's an auto repair company that pays its mechanics more than any of the other auto repair shops around town, and that doesn't necessarily translate into higher bills for you. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to tell you about EuroFix. EuroFix pays their technicians more than anyone because they understand that good and well-paid well, one, you want to attract the best and the brightest, right? Number two, a well-paid tech is going to be a happy tech, and a happy tech's going to fix your automobile better. Local owner Aaron Stokes believed in this all of his life. He was an ex-mechanic, and mechanics make the world go round. Everything out there has to be worked on. So EuroFix, they're not open on weekends. That's one of the reasons they're not, because they want their mechanics homes with their families. They are open Monday through Friday. They're here for you. They're ready, willing, and able to fix your European vehicle at below dealer pricing with 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the repairs they perform. 5 separate locations to serve. Call today at 844-EuroFix. That's 844-EuroFix, or visit online at myEuroFix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Party officials in the Democrat Party empowered this fellow by the name of Paul Rivera and asked Paul to investigate why the Democrat Party failed to win big in 2024. and I want to get to some of your thoughts on this, but this is high comedy. This is comedy gold, guys. So Rivera's findings were that Kamala Harris wasn't sufficiently negative when she took over the race after Joe Biden flamed out during that infamous debate in which he did not know where he was and could not find his butt with a compass and a flashlight. So this is the same Kamala Harris that attacked Donald Trump as a fascist, the same Kamala Harris that repeatedly said that during the campaign, said that if Donald Trump was elected president, it would be the last election of our lifetime. This is the same Kamala Harris that called her opponent unhinged and unstable. The same Kamala Harris that told CNN that if Donald Trump took over, that he would rule, quote unquote, as a fascist, and that he wanted unchecked power. But the analysis is that she was not negative enough. Party officials interviewed hundreds of Democrats in all 50 states to create the report. Democrats asked DNC Chairman Ken Martin for months to publicly release the findings. But the DNC chair, listen to this is funny. Martin said that he would not release the findings, but he only did so after CNN, #NeverCNN, got their hands on the 200-page report, and apparently they were going to release it. The report is littered with notes drafted by DNC editors, pointing out that many of Rivera's claims are unsubstantiated or contradict publicly available reporting. Martin had previously maintained that releasing the report would serve, quote, only as a distraction and as a source of more infighting within the party. Going on to say, here's our North Star. Does it help us win? If the answer is no, it's a distraction from the core mission. Now, this goes to the heart of what I've been telling you for a long time. Do the Democrats, say what you will about Donald Trump, and I understand that some of you that hate Trump aren't going to accept this analysis, but it is my analysis nonetheless. Say what you will about Donald Trump. Donald Trump cares about the United States of America, and he cares about you. The Democrats care about winning. They care about using you. You are a useful tool toward their end. You understand the difference? They care about winning. They care about power and control. And it goes to the heart of that, their response to this report acknowledging the failures of the Democrats in the 2024 election cycle. On earlier today, the DNC chair Martin acknowledged in a statement that by not releasing the report, he, quote, ended up creating it as a bigger distraction. When I was elected DNC chair, I commissioned an after-action review of the 2024 election that I wanted to be honest and transparent with actionable and specific takeaways for the future of the Democratic Party. When I received the report late last year, it wasn't ready for prime time, not even close. And because no source material was provided, it would have meant starting over. I could not in good faith put the DNC's stamp of approval on a report that was produced. For full transparency, I'm releasing the report as we received it. So you understand what's happening here? They got a report back. They didn't like the report that they got. They didn't like the idea that people were pointing fingers at the Democrats. They didn't like the idea that they had to actually look at what they did wrong, and so they tried to spike the report. CNN got their hands on it, and the only reason they're releasing it now is because CNN got their hands on it. That's what's happening. So he says, I'm releasing the report as we received it in its entirety, unedited and unabridged. It does not meet my standards. It won't meet your standards. But I'm doing this because people need to be able to trust the Democratic Party and trust our word. Uh-huh. The report found that the Harris campaign erred in several ways, including focusing too much on building a case against Trump rather than an argument for Harris, and getting too bogged down by unpopular identity politics. The Harris campaign also did not receive any help from the Biden presidential team, according to the analysis. Rivera found the Democrat nominee campaign appeared to have relied on Trump being unacceptable rather than building an affirmative case for Harris. Well, I'll agree with that. Harris struggled with definition beyond not Trump. and prosecutor versus felon. The truncated campaign timeline didn't help, but the campaign did not quickly resolve how to tag Trump and define Harris. The report names identity politics as a weak spot for the Harris campaign, citing the virtual Trump campaign ad that said, Harris is for they, them. President Trump is for you. It also says that Harris's campaign pollsters, quote, all recognized the attack as very effective, end quote. If the vice president would not change her position, and she did not, there was nothing which would have worked as a response, said Rivera. So in some of this report, in this 200-page report, which I've obviously not read, I'm reading a synopsis of it now, Rivera is dead on. In some places, he's completely absent reality, but he is dead on when he cites that she didn't define herself. She decided that Trump being awful was good enough. He then went on to warn Democrats to, quote, not assume identity politics will hold male voters of color, and urged the party to deploy male messengers to win over more male voters all over the race. So it's interesting that they conclude that she failed to focus significant negative attention on Donald Trump, but in the analysis, as you read down further, Rivera kind of points out how she did not define herself in any way that was acceptable to the American people, to the American public. I love it. I'm here for the Democrat on Democrat violence. Brad is next up. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. I don't know what's funnier, this thing with Kamala and the Democrats, or we can't find the vein to kill this guy. I don't know.
Well, I'm about to get into the vein conversation because that's just nonsense to me.
No kidding, and it's probably going to cost about $40,000 to keep him alive another year, feeding, clothing, housing, probably about $40,000 a year. But anyway, I mean, only time she, well, let me back up. When she was talking about Trump, everything she said about him was negative, and any other time it was just word salad. I mean, she let's look forward to tomorrow to see what we did last week. We might do it yesterday. I mean, in any interview she had, I only remember her answering one question, and it was probably just made up because it popped in her head. The guy from 60 Minutes interviewed her after she made the comment at the debate about her and Walsh owning a gun. And he asked her what kind of gun did she own, and she immediately said a Glock. And I'm like, yeah, she's been watching a lot of movies. I doubt she owns a Glock. She probably can't even spell Glock, But it was just, I mean, I mean, come on, man. It's just too fun. I mean, she was the biggest, you said something about the shortcoming. The biggest shortcoming with her was between her ears.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's... They were left with a decision point. They hung on to Biden way too. I mean, this is the easy analysis, and Brad, you know this. I know this.
Yeah.
They hung on to Joe Biden, who was brain dead. My
wife is a nurse working in the psych unit. She's they say behavioral health unit now. It hurts people's feelings if you say psych unit, but prior to the election of Biden, every nurse, every doctor, every counselor that I know that works in that field with my wife, everybody, Biden's showing precursors to dementia 6 months before the election. I mean, he was showing it before he was allegedly
Well, they should have. I mean, if the Democrats had any sense about them, they would have told him no, that he could not run again, and they would have had a fairly contested primary. And that might have been dangerous for Donald Trump if they had gotten someone other than Kamala Harris. But they traded a guy who was approaching dementia with a woman who doesn't have any sense.
Oh, my God. She makes AOC look like a genius.
Yeah.
I mean.
And you're right about her. I mean, her word salads were just nonsensical. And anybody listen, I mean, and I understand the Democrats didn't want to believe it, but they heard it. They knew it. And they weren't motivated to go vote for that.
I mean, yeah, and it was just, oh my God, it was almost sad at times. And then, she's allegedly a lawyer and went to law school. I'm like, what? I know a lot of lawyers, and I'm like, she can't even complete a basic sentence or answer a question. And man,
it would have. I'll say this, Brad. It would have been sad, but for what we were told from inside of the campaign, even as it was going on, and what I understand is that her people, when some of the Biden folks, and not all of them would go over with her, but some of the Biden folks went over and they kind of tried to launch her campaign. They tried to get her caught up on the issues. They tried to prime her on things that she would need to talk about, and she refused to do it. Like
probably incapable.
Well,
I mean, just like her career is over in California as a prosecutor. I mean, there's been several people looking for transcripts of her being in court and fighting cases. Nobody can find any.
Well, of course not.
I mean,
well, did they look under Willie Brown's desk?
Well, I was gonna say I didn't want to go there, but it was awful funny when Joe said he was her, not her pick for the VP.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful funny that like 3 of her former bosses come out and said, "Oh yeah, she, I had an affair with her, and she just if his name had been, if it had been Bob Harris, he'd have been nothing, so."
Well, Brad, I mean, no, it's a good call. It's premature caller ejection there, Brad. I apologize. I bumped the drop button. My bad. Bottom line is this. Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. She replaced a brain-dead candidate. And they refused to define her because they couldn't. What did Kamala Harris stand for? They, them. There's 28 genders, no borders. What? Let's spend more money. Let's waste more money. What? What did she stand for? Now, she told us repeatedly what she was against. She was against Donald Trump, fascism, Donald Trump, Hitler, Donald Trump, authoritarian. Nobody bought into that. So it's amusing to listen to this after-action report, a report that they did not want you to see because they don't like self-reflection. The Democrats just want you to say, thank you very much, bend over, and take another. 615-737-9986. Caller Brad brought up the so-called execution of Tony Carruthers and the fact that the Tennessee Department of Correction has called off said execution because they could not find a vein. We will discuss next on The Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The big day's coming, friends. Oh, it's right around the corner. We're now 9 days and counting before the Glock Store open house event that is happening on Airlane Drive at the Glock Store right here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm so excited. Over $50,000 worth of giveaways, including multiple guns, including all sorts of ammo, all sorts of accessories. I mean, red dot optics and some of the customizable features of your Glock or your current gun. They've got all manner of stuff. You get there earlier and you have a better shot of winning because they're going to be giving away raffles all throughout the course of the day. Those giveaways happen, with regularity. Every 15 minutes, I am certain, probably more often than that, to give away $50,000 worth of stuff in 4 hours. From 10 until 2, that's the time of the Glock Store open house, and I would love to see you. I'll be there. Dan Mandis will be there. Chris Hand will be there, and we invite you. There'll be food trucks. Cabana Wife's coming out with Cabana Wife cookies, which are they're worth going for those cookies alone. But you'll get a lot more than that. You'll give giveaways. You'll see some of the special deals they've got going on that only happen once a year at the Glock Store. Go to GlockStore.com or Shoot270.com, or better yet, I'll see you on Saturday morning, bright and early, at the one and only Glock Store, just off of Elm Hill Pike. That's right off of Briley Parkway. Convenient to anywhere is the Glock Store.
Rutherford County asking residents to stop using so much water for now. The execution of death row inmate Tony Carruthers has been put on hold. And one of the Republicans running for governor says it's time to help Tennesseans struggling financially. We'll let you hear what that's all about coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's the voice of Ken Weaver. We'll get that newscast here in moments. Coming up in moments as well, a visit with Representative Scott Cepiki. We got a lot of things on the table. I feel unfettered by the General Assembly. I feel unencumbered. We don't have to focus in on General Assembly stuff. We can talk about other matters, like how much Scott likes my my pink and white seersucker shirt. Why is he all dressed up today? I mean, he's not doing anything.
TCAP.
I just like messing with you. Hey, before we get to Cepiki, though, this news, and look, I know I feel exactly the same way that you do. I have been told that prisoners, when they know that they're going to be executed by lethal injection, will sometimes withhold water so as to dehydrate themselves. The veins get dehydrated, and it's more difficult to get a vein. The Tennessee Department of Corrections called off the execution of Tony Carruthers after repeated attempts to find a vein for lethal injection, and all of those attempts failed, according to, well, the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee granted Carruthers a 1-year reprieve, and I don't know. I don't want to assume the worst. Maybe there's a reason why it had to be a 1-year reprieve. I don't know why you would set it for a year, why you just couldn't pump some water in the guy and be done with it. But Carruthers was sentenced to death for the 1994 triple murder in Memphis that Ken Weaver's been telling you about throughout the course of the day. He was scheduled to be executed this morning at 10 a.m. at the Riverbend Maximum Security Institution right here in Nashville. According to the statement by the Tennessee Department of Corrections, medical personnel, quote, quickly established a primary IV line, but could not set a backup line, which is required by their protocol. The team continued to follow the protocol but could not find another suitable vein. The team attempted to insert a central line pursuant to the protocol, but the procedure was unsuccessful. The execution was then called off. Executioners attempted to insert an IV line into Carruthers' veins for about an hour and 20 minutes. According to the senior counsel at the American Civil Liberties Union Capital Punishment Project, arms, shoulders, foot, chest, and jugular. Took about 20 minutes for the first IV to be inserted. When the doctor attempted a central line, Carruthers was, quote, in pain. Let me just say something. I don't give a damn how much pain he's in. I understand that we have to have certain protocols and certain standards, but I don't understand why they include. Nobody cares. This guy is a convicted murderer of 3 people. He buried them alive. So to hell with his pain. Who cares? It's 4 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Scott Cepiki coming up next. Here's Ken Weaver.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Rutherford County's asking residents to cut water use by about 10%. They're urging people to skip watering lawns, filling pools, or reducing daily water use. Just reduce it while you can voluntarily, because they say if conditions persist, well, they may have to make it mandatory. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. The execution of death row inmate Tony Carruthers called off this morning in Nashville after officials say they were unable to complete the lethal injection process. Department of Corrections says a primary IV line was established, but staff could not secure a backup line as required by protocol. About an hour of attempts, including trying a central line, the procedure was halted. Governor Lee then issued a 1-year reprieve, keeping Carruthers on death row for now. One of the Republicans running for governor says it's time to help Tennesseans struggling financially under inflation and higher fuel costs. State Rep Monty Fritz telling WTN's Chris Hanshow.
I sent Governor Lee and Speaker Sexton and Lieutenant Governor McNally yesterday a letter asking that we suspend the collection of gasoline tax, 26 cents a gallon in Tennessee, diesel fuel tax, 27 cents a gallon, and state grocery sales tax, 4 cents per dollar, through at least the end of the fiscal year.
Fritz says the state has already doubled the projected revenue growth of 2.3% and general fund revenue growth. The fight over Tennessee's newly drawn congressional map in court today. The NAACP trying to convince the state Supreme Court to block using the map in upcoming elections. And in our nation's capital, after a tense closed-door meeting with Acting Attorney General, GOP Senate leaders decided not to move forward with plans to vote today or tomorrow on a measure funding ICE and the Border Patrol. The debate has been kicked into next month, as ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy reports.
Republicans had hoped to begin a round-the-clock series of votes in the Senate on a bill to fund 3 years' worth of immigration enforcement. But behind closed doors for nearly 2 hours with Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, GOP senators aired their frustrations about the administration's new anti-weaponization fund. Democrats have been hoping to force votes on it on the floor. But rather than subjecting their members to those tough votes on the fund, Republican leaders decided to send senators home for a week-long Memorial Day recess instead.
Back here in Nashville, a lawsuit filed in Davidson County accuses the Tennessee Highway Patrol of using traffic stops to help federal immigration enforcement. Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition claims some drivers were pulled over so their immigration status could be investigated, not just for traffic violations. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Capitol View injury crash, 40 eastbound near Church Street. On the North Loop, the right lane is blocked going northbound right there at the northern split. Berry Hill injury crash, 65 southbound at I-440. Antioch, 24 westbound before Hickory Hollow Parkway. Over by the airport, we've got a crash with the right lane blocked. 40 westbound, they're at 216A. Then 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway. And then Nolensville Pike at Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Matt Murphy Show continues. It is our number dos. That's right. We like to throw out the Hispanic lingo every now and again, the El Español, just to keep you on your toes. My name is Matt Murphy. I'm here until 7 o'clock. Jackson Williams is behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. Hello, Jay Willie.
Hey,
How's it going, buddy?
I'm good.
Hey, thanks for getting our Super Talk screen back up and running. I know that you were sort of the intermediary there. You facilitated that resolution to the issue at hand, and I thank you.
I know nothing, but I texted people who do.
Well, and that's good enough, young man. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines for a living and delivers them twice an hour. And when it breaks, Brother Weaver, is he there? Is he back there? I can't
How
see.
about you, boys?
What's going on, Ken?
Just here in my little closet.
Hey, I asked Jackson while he was on the horn on the old text with the people that know how to get things done.
Yes, sir.
If they could get you a window in there.
Yeah.
They said they're working on it.
They said they're working on it, Ken.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to put some seed out and hopefully attract a few woodpeckers to the window.
Oh, well, isn't that nice?
We've reconciled.
That's right. It's true. I don't know if you heard this or not, Jackson, but it's official. Now that Ken's got his little thing, his little plaque, his little deal, where it says "I'm Ken Weaver" on it, and it says "I just do the news, boys."
Yeah.
Did you see his little woodpeckers there?
Oh, there's woodpeckers on it?
Yeah,
look.
Yeah. No, look at there. You see that? It's right behind you, Jackson. There you go. Isn't
You know,
that nice?
Ken, they gave me an estimated date of completion on your window.
This camera's confusing me. There we go.
Okay.
What is the estimated date there, Brother Jackson?
The 5th of never.
It's somewhere between the time that we have the Super Bowl in Tennessee and the Titans are in the Super Bowl. Somewhere in that narrow
No, it's 2030.
window of space. Hey, speaking of seeds, Ken talked about seeds. Did you hear? Hey, by the way, Jackson, you're the resident sports guy on this show, right?
Yes.
You're the sports. Ken, is Jackson not the sports guru on the Matt Murphy Show?
He absolutely is.
And we lean on Jackson for all things sports.
Yes.
Where's our interview with Roger Goodell, Jackson?
Well, I'll have to get in touch with some politicians, and we have one right in studio. Scott, can you hook me up with his phone number?
Man, you need to run for politics, Jackson. You see him deflect. I mean, Goodell was in town, right? NFL was in town?
Well,
right?
the vice president was.
Oh, I guess Roger wasn't in that?
No.
Okay, well, you're off the hook, Jackson. If Goodell had been in town. Where's Jim Nance, Jackson? You're our sports guy?
Scott, do you have Jim Nance's number?
Yes, I do. And you won't be getting it.
That's extremely fair, and I respect that.
Representative, see, I'm doing my part. I'm the political guy, and I'm bringing the political gurus on to talk about politics.
Do I say squirrel or say raccoon on this show?
We did just bounce around.
I told the Republican women of Murray County. I had the honor of speaking to them.
Great group.
Wonderful group of people. And I told them the other day, I was like, you'll have to forgive me because listening to a Matt Murphy speech is like holding a box of frogs. We're kind of jumping around all over the place, so
yes.
You'll have to forgive me.
Buckle up.
They got a kick out of it. What's up, Cepiki? How are you?
Doing well. I'm working today.
I see that. You're all dressed up.
Yep, we had a presentation with the Secretary of State. I brought this in. This is our program.
It's a big deal.
It's a program we run every year with the Secretary of State, trying to prevent these heat-related deaths in cars. This came to me about 4 years ago from a citizen in Murray County. She was very concerned about this and wanted to figure out what we could do, and I took this idea to Secretary of State Hargett, and he came up with this idea. Now, it does have a QR code on it, so if you need to register to vote, you can scan the QR code. Mm-hmm. But you can pick these up when you go get your license plates.
Uh-huh.
We give these out to every newborn parent in the state of Tennessee, and in the last 4 years, we've given out over 600,000 of these.
These are, for those listening on the radio, when it's a little hanger that hangs on your dash,
on your
rearview mirror. And one side of it says "baby in the back" with a little exclamation point. Prevent heat-related deaths. Never leave a child in a vehicle alone. Minutes matter. And then on the other side it says "look before you lock." It's got a little baby on there, and it says "where's baby?" Hang this tag from your rearview mirror facing the driver. And it's just a little way. I mean, and some cars, modern cars, are providing certain technologies that ding you,
Reminders.
or, little reminders. But most cars don't have them.
And we do this because in the state of Tennessee, we have a Good Samaritan law that if you come across a car with one of these hang tags in it and you look in the back seat and there's a child in there with nobody present,
Get it open.
You have the ability to break the window and get it open.
Well, that's good.
So
I think you and I talked about this when you were launching this, or maybe it was last summer. I forget when. But I was real callous to this phenomenon. And I'm like, how in the world could this happen? Right. And I did a deep dive and some research in it. And it is there are things that happen in our brains that create a dynamic. And I understand that if you have a baby, maybe you're thinking, how in the world could anybody forget their baby? But there have been many, many studies done. And people do. And they legitimately think that they have taken their baby to daycare. Their brain is wired. Our brains are wired in such a way where they think they've taken their babies and then they accidentally leave their babies or they forget about them. And it's just such a tragedy.
The number one scenario is you have to look out for repetition. If the wife takes the baby to daycare, then today the husband takes it
and then
breaks his routine up, and he's not aware of it cognitively. He just doesn't think about it, and he does his normal routine, locks the car,
and then he gets back into that. Right, so he takes the baby, he knows the baby's back there, but then suddenly he's getting coffee at the coffee place, or he's doing this and doing that. He's back in that routine, and then they've done interviews with these people, and obviously it's a horrible tragedy. And they're like, I would have sworn on a stack of Bibles. I mean, I remember there was a Washington Post piece. Then I don't praise the Washington Post for very much, but this I think won the Pulitzer Prize, where they did did a deep dive into this, and it's such a tragedy. There was a guy in Virginia that accidentally left his baby in the car, and his baby died, and it gives me chills just relating it. He tried to get the police to kill him. He literally, when he discovered that his baby was in the car, he tried to get the officers. I mean, so it's and the reason I bring it up, it's easy to say, well, these idiot people, whatever. These people, there's no level of punishment that you can give them that they're not only
because they have to go on.
They right.
They have to go
and
on.
They just have to live with what happened. So this is wonderful. This is good government at work, Scott.
That was the best thing I ever did that never required a bill.
This didn't require a bill?
No, sir.
How did you get it done?
I went to Secretary Hargett and presented the idea to him. He thought it was fantastic. He has a budget for urging people to get registered to vote. So the QR code, like I said, you can scan the QR code and register in the state of Tennessee to vote. And also you can hang that in your car to make sure that there's other people helping you out in case of an emergency.
Sally writes in, and Sally's our resident curmudgeon, and says, are we providing warning labels on toasters? Do not use this appliance while bathing. Sally, this is different. I'm begging you to look into this. The dynamics behind this is great enough that it merits doing something. The industries involved are taking action. The automobile industry's taking action.
Insurance industry, everybody.
Right, and I don't mind the government's taking a little bit of action on this, because if it's a reminder, if it prevents some of this from happening, and we're getting into the
time of the year.
Time of year, heat of the summer. And did we not have
in Monterey?
What happened?
We had a fatality that a routine, just the dad had a normal routine, and the baby got put in the back, and he did his normal routine, and he just forgot, and the baby unfortunately didn't make it.
That's so sad.
So our goal is that we get to a point in Tennessee where this never happens again.
That's great stuff. Hey, Kimberly wants to speak on this matter. Kimberly, thank you for the call. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I did it one time. I call in every once in a while, but I did this 37 years ago. My daughter was a newborn, and I was debating with my husband at the time. I was like, I wanted to leave her home, and he kept saying, you got to take her. And I don't know how I had other kids, and she was brand new, okay? So I took her with me. All I did was go into town just a couple miles away with my girlfriend. We went to a Christian bookstore. We were in there for a few minutes. And when I came out and saw her in the back of the car, I nearly had a heart attack. But it was wintertime. She was fine. but it's the fact that I did it, and I don't even exactly know how I forgot that. I put her in the car. So it does happen. I mean, it's a horrible thing. But like you said, you get off your routine. You know, we went back and forth about keeping the baby at home, and it was awful. And you never forget that you made that mistake. I had 6 kids.
Oh, wow.
And this was child number 3. And you never forget that you made that mistake. You never, ever.
Well, and I'm certain that you've never forgotten what a blessing it was that it did not end in tragedy, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was, oh, my God, it was just so weird, though, because I opened the car door, and I just completely fell apart. And my girlfriend didn't remember either, you know? So I don't know how we did. I guess we were just so wrapped up in what we were doing. You know, we were only going to be gone for a few minutes. And I can't even explain it, but I get it. You know, people do make mistakes. But the people that do it on purpose, that's another thing.
Well, yeah, and it's for law, and obviously that's true, Kimberly. And thank you for the call, and thank you for relating that.
If you are a hospital, a clerk, whatever, there's an email address that you can email into, and they will to tell them what you need, and they will send you these hang tags free of charge. And Matt, do you have that email address? sos.tn.gov/request hang tags. I'll do it one more time. SOS, which stands for Secretary of State, .tn.gov/request hang tags. There you go.
There you go. And if anybody needs that again, just hit me up on the super text line and I'll get it to you. A couple of you are saying I get it. I was where you are. I'm not judging any of you. I've gotten like 3 messages along these lines. I'm not buying that anyone will leave their infant on accident in their car. I don't buy it. Someone else says, I don't believe that this could possibly happen. 7768 says, you don't leave your baby in the car by accident. Folks, about 10 years ago, I was where you are. I said the exact same thing. I just encourage you, do some research, study up on it, and you'll learn that it does, in fact, happen. I mean, you just heard from Kimberly, and this seems like a good mama. Had 6 babies and is lucky that something worse didn't happen. It happens, and if we can help, let's help.
Let's save a life if we can.
I like it. What do you think of the new district line, Scott?
I think they're going to stand. If they don't stand now, they'll stand in 28 for sure.
I think they're going to make it happen.
I think they're going to make it happen. I think as a candidate, you've got a 60-day sprint right now. And you've got to get in front of people like Congressman Ogles and Van Epps and Desjardins that have never had to work with you before. Mm-hmm. And you've got to introduce yourself to them in a very quick time period. And then in the 9th district, it is a free-for-all right now. Tonight I'm headed down to Marshall County for Young Republicans. They've got, I think, 4 or 5 candidates coming in. They asked me to come in and be there. So I'm going to try to hustle down there.
Is that the one? Is Golden going to MC it? Or
I think it is,
he's going to moderate it?
I think that is, yes.
I think the young man that was engaging in that, I know that family, and he asked me if I could get down there, and I couldn't, obviously, because of the show. But
sure.
I wish I could, because I think Brent Taylor's going to be there, if I'm not mistaken. Warner's going to be there.
Warner's going to be there. The lady from Memphis is going to be there, and the guy from Lincoln County is going to be there.
Yeah.
So this is District 9. It affects Murray County and Williamson County. It is a huge election because we have to decide, do we want our representation to come from the southern middle Tennessee, or do we want representation to come from Memphis? That's about what it is, because in between there's nobody involved. So it's either Memphis or middle Tennessee. That's going to be the big debate.
No one from Williamson County in the race, right?
That's correct, yes. That's correct.
I find that interesting, and I suppose the compression of time, because I've heard from some Williamson County insiders that feel like that if this is going to be the district, that
you would think representation would come from
Williamson
or
County.
Murray or something.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it really is Williamson or Shelby. I mean, or the Memphis area or that populated area around the Williamson Murray County, look at where the 9th district is. You would think, and it. I don't know. Are you grading the field? Are you putting odds on the field right now yet?
No, I'm not. I'm trying.
You just want to listen?
I want to listen to hear what the candidates say on how they're going to represent the district. That's important to me because of what we face in Middle Tennessee right now with our infrastructure, our roads. We need congressmen that are going to try to help us.
Are you still in 5?
I'm still in 5, yes.
Are you like the district that you represent? Are you entirely in 5?
In Murray County, split.
Okay, so you'll have.
So you're in 5.
I'm in 5.
And Culleoka and the east and the eastern side of Columbia
is in 9,
and the eastern side of Murray County is in 9.
And
that's a lot of population.
Yeah,
that's a lot of population.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's interesting to me that someone in that area didn't decide to throw their hat in the ring, but it was a very compressed amount of time. I feel like this is going to be, even if these new lines are in place in August, are in place in November, this is going to take 2 years to shake out.
Yeah, I think the real election for District for 9 is in 28.
I'd agree with that.
That's going to be the real election because President Trump will be on the way out. You'll have a new governor. And so those endorsements will probably wane, and then the people of 9 will probably truly choose who they want to represent them.
I like Senator Brent Taylor a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and you don't have to comment on it. You don't have to agree or disagree. I mentioned this on our podcast earlier today that Chris Hand, Dan Mandis, and I do, Mostly Peaceful, drops Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. So I like Brent Taylor. I think he's done a lot of good things for Memphis, and I appreciate everything that's going on over there, and I appreciate how much he cares about that area. And I appreciate the fact that he's throwing his hat in the ring. And I don't fault him for being ready to do that. I don't fault any of that. It struck me as a little odd how all of that dropped in the timing that it took to drop. Meaning, Brent Taylor announced, and it was like less than an hour before Bill Haggerty had endorsed him.
20 minutes.
Senator Marsha Blackburn had endorsed him. Eventually he got endorsements from I think Tim Burchett now endorsed him. And once again, I'm not necessarily against that. It just left me just a little orchestrated for my taste. That's just me. That's just me.
The thing about I try to do is when there's contested primaries, right? I try to stay out of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to put my finger on the scale.
Right.
And we've kind of gotten into that, haven't we?
Yeah.
That we're trying to elected officials are trying to put their finger on the scale in primaries. Now, in the general, whoever wins that, 100%, I'm on board. Got to close the deal, right? I'll do everything I can. But right now, I want to hear what people want to do.
Well, let's talk about this after the break because it's a phenomenon that I've noticed over the years that I've done this. In the 26 years that I've done this, we do more of it now than ever before.
Right.
And that is, if I pick a horse in the primary, then suddenly I can't shift by the general, and if the person that I didn't pick wins, then they're still my enemy. It's like a residual effect that I don't recall happening 20 years ago.
Correct.
25 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment about that insurance of yours. Do you have King & Associates insurance? If you don't, I'm not saying, oh, you need to get the King & Associates insurance and you need to turn over. I mean, I want you to use King & Associates mainly because they're better than the other guys. They work for you. They don't work for the insurance companies. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or a growing family just shopping for better automobile rates, they make it pretty simple. They don't try to push you into any decision-making. They just offer you honest advice, personalized service, and policies that make sense for you. They work for you. What does that mean? They don't work for any one insurance company. They shop the entire marketplace. They're independent, meaning that the big insurance companies don't tell them what to do, which is nice. You do, which is also nice. 329-8121 is the number, 329-8121, or online at kinginsurance.com. That's kinginsurance.com. King & Associates Insurance, protecting what matters most.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. In Rutherford County, leaders asking everyone to conserve water immediately. They're asking you to avoid lawn watering. Also, you might not fill the pool. Just take some steps to reduce the amount of water you use by about 10%, they say. They want to keep this thing voluntary for now. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes, along with traffic. A scheduled execution in Tennessee was abruptly stopped today when officials could not carry out the lethal injection. Prison staff, unable to establish the required backup IV line, later failed to insert a central line. Attorneys say the effort lasted roughly an hour before it was called off. So Governor Bill Lee then granted Tony Carruthers a 1-year reprieve from execution, but he'll stay on death row. One of the Republicans running for governor says it's time to help Tennesseans struggling financially under inflation and higher fuel costs. State Rep Monty Fritz telling WTN's Chris Anshow he sent a letter yesterday to Governor Lee, Speaker Sexton, and Lieutenant Governor McNally asking for a suspension of the state gas, diesel, and food taxes through the end of the fiscal year.
Budget adopted by the General Assembly in April 2025 assumed a revenue growth of 2.3%. and a general fund revenue growth of 1.65%. For the first 9 months of 25-26, the actual revenue growth is 5.72%, and the actual general fund growth is 5.44%.
So based on that, Fritz says there's plenty of money to suspend the state gas tax, which would save you 26 cents per gallon, 27 cents per gallon of diesel, and 4 cents per dollar on groceries. And the Tennessee Supreme Court hearing a case today brought by the NAACP on new congressional maps. They want to prevent any elections from being held until the case is decided. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Injury crash on the North Loop. That's going northbound, blocking the right lane right there before the northern split. Over by the airport, a crash blocking the right lane, 40 westbound at exit 216A. Another one going eastbound at Briley Parkway. Got a crash in Berry Hill, 65 southbound at I-440. Nolensville Pike near Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. I tell the story of J.K. and Erica Brister taking over U.S. Pest years ago and just growing that company by leaps and bounds. They do it the right way, too. They hire great people. They have a great work ethic and a simple philosophy. They want to eliminate the things on your home, in your home, I should say, on your property that bug you. And it's bugs, right? Whether it's termite protection that you're looking for, maybe you're looking to eliminate fleas and ticks. As the spring becomes summer, that's become more and more of an issue, and it will continue to be an issue. Maybe it's, my battle with carpenter bees. I've solving that battle thanks to U.S. Pest. J.K. and Erica Brister love these United States of America, and they hate bugs. And it's evident in every aspect of what they do at U.S. Pest. Go to uspest.com, uspest.com to find out more. Don't forget free inspection, free termite and pest inspection for you at no obligation. They don't try to pester you. They don't try to bug you. See what I did there? They simply want to give you the best service available. So if you don't currently have a pest control contract, you need one. And if you do and you're not satisfied, it's time to call U.S. Pest. 590-1260, 590-1260 for U.S. Pest. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I made a tragic error, Jackson. I don't know if you noticed the conversation that was happening in the control, or rather in the studio area. Maybe you didn't in the control room, but I made a tragic mistake when Ken Weaver started doing the news. I looked over at Cepiki. The microphones were off, so nobody heard this but Scott and myself. And I said, "Hey, how's education going?" And he hasn't shut up since. And I was like, "You need to hold this off for the do we have test scores just yet?
Not yet. We are wrapping up TCAP. Hopefully, we'll start to get test scores out here pretty quickly. Everything we've heard from the districts, it went very well. We had one little hiccup, but we got that solved pretty quickly. I am hoping, I'm optimistic that, remember, we were about 42% literacy rate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 8 years ago, we were in like the high 20s.
Okay.
So our goal is, I'm hoping, I talked to Commissioner Reynolds about this, our goal is 46 maybe. 47%, which
this year,
yes, which is unprecedented territory. We think with all the summer school, the tutoring we're doing, the universal screeners really hammering down on this on math and English language arts. You saw the scores came out after COVID on growth. We are basically to top 5 in the country.
Now, it is easy for people who just heard what you said to say, "My goodness gracious, are you actually applauding 46%, Scott?" But
no.
I mean,
but from where I was,
but it's a move, right? It's a move in the right direction.
Right, and everything we look at, Matt, at the end result, right, where do we want to be, is 80%.
Yeah,
80%. If
okay.
we're 80%, we are 20% better than everybody else in the country. That still means I got 20% of the kids I got to work on,
mm-hmm.
but I'd much rather have those conversations where I know 80% are knocking it out of the park.
How's everything going? You know, and you and I had discussions. You eventually supported expansion of the Education Freedom Scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the camp of wait this year and let's wait until next year. There was a natural 5,000 scholarship growth anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but it went from 5,000, I guess, 15,000. So now there's a total of 35,000. Implementation is ongoing with that?
That's correct. And then that we're seeing really smooth work by the department. They've handled that very well, and they've outsourced some of it, so you bring in the private sector for efficiency. We are looking for those test scores to come in because we will find out, those students from the Education Freedom Scholarship, exactly how they did on their test scores, and we'll be able to see the success. I am predicting that's probably going to be very high test scores, and then the new governor coming in is going to have to look at, remember, if we use up to, I think, not 90%, it automatically increases 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
So the new governor's going to have to come in and decide, okay, with the data points, do we double down?
At what my concern has always been, and I don't want to till necessarily old ground that
Sure.
we've talked about in the past, but for those newbies that are listening to the show, my concern is, I mean, at some point there's a natural cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we start getting into 15% territory or whatever, then my question is, well, why are we not addressing the 15% of the school systems that are clearly failing our kids? Do you have a vision as to where that natural max is?
You're probably looking. Remember, there's a million students in public school. You're probably looking at about 170,000 already in private school. Another probably 20,000 that are homeschooled.
Okay.
Right? I would say when that number starts to approach maybe that 225,000, that's probably a saturation point right there. And now what you got to do is, which we are doing, right? We are putting more incentives into public education for academic performance. We've dumped, and I'm not going to go through it for your listeners, but we just got a report from the comptroller about districts that are performing at high levels. We're giving financial rewards to. Teachers that are performing at high levels, we're going to start to reward. We are going to revamp the evaluation process of our districts and our teachers, so it's very easy for everybody to understand of how your school's doing. And lastly, we are really going to start to push on getting kids textbooks back in their hands and go back to the way we used to do it, using technology as supplemental material. If a teacher says, "Hey, pull out your Chromebooks. There's a video I uploaded to you on Yellowstone," right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you use the technology to visually show something, right? So now you're bringing sight into it and sound. But we found out that the states that are in front of us, Matt, and we're like top 20 now, right? The districts that are in front of us have gone back to textbooks in the classroom.
It seems to be a better way.
So I think my goal is within 4 to 5 years, we are top 10 in education in the country.
While I have you here, a couple of other matters that have come across. Number one, why are we giving a $30 million grant to Starbucks? Okay, so
you're asking the wrong guy on that, Matt, because I voted against Ford and I voted against the Titan Stadium. I don't believe in corporate welfare. Now,
can you help me understand is the justification as simple as we need these businesses to come to Tennessee? But I thought we had beautiful, fertile business opportunities for all comers. Well, it doesn't feel like this is fair.
I think what we've done is we have created an economic business environment that's very attractive, right?
Yes.
Very attractive. I think what we need to do, and this is just me talking here, right? This is just me talking. Is if we're going to incentivize a company to relocate to Tennessee, and let's say they choose one of the big 4 cities, right? That's on you now, right? If you want to move to Nashville and you want to set up shop here, more power to you, bless you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want an economic incentive, I'm going to start talking about Manchester, Tullahoma, Dixon, Spring Hill, right? I'm talking, I want to move you to a part of Tennessee that is transformative for that area. Like if you put I forgot the name of the tech company that's moving here.
Oracle?
Oracle, right?
Yeah.
If Oracle's going to be downtown, right? Wonderful. But if you take an Oracle and put it in Spring Hill, right? That transforms the area of Spring Hill where people don't have to get on the highway to drive to Nashville to go to work. I think that's where we got to start to look at, Matt, is if we're going to economic incentive people here, we got to start to determine, like think of a dartboard, concentric circles.
Mm-hmm.
The further you get away from the bullseye, the more economic incentives we will give you as a state.
Now, those that supported the idea, and I was just into the state when the entire stadium deal was being negotiated in the General Assembly. I guess it was $500 million of state money that went into it. Now, just many would suggest, hey, this is already paying dividends. We're getting a Super Bowl into town. I was not as concerned about that. I am generally speaking against using taxpayer money to fund these types of things. But I also understand why our taxes are relatively low, and a lot of that involves tourism. And I think you have to, on balance, I understand the principled stand that you take, and I appreciate it, as a matter of fact, because if you're going to say no blue oval, then you got to say no stadium. You got to, on down the line. But some of your colleagues would say, hey, Cepiki, this is the reason that we did this. Super Bowl's here.
I get it, but how does that work, right? You have some of the highest tax rates in Nashville on the businesses in Nashville, but you're giving it away to the Titans.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Let's be consistent, right?
I agree.
Freddie O'Connell, if you're listening, drop the tax rate in Nashville.
Lower the property tax.
And people will spend more money.
And what's frustrating is that the same governments that raise your taxes tell you to come on bend the knee, and they'll give you the grant. That's what ticks me off about the property tax increases from Freddie.
Right.
Is that they increase the property taxes. Businesses are legitimately saying, like they held a function at Acme Feed and Seed announcing the Super Bowl coming to town. The irony here.
I know.
It is not lost on me, where Tom Morales, the owner of Acme Feed and Seed, says, I'm going to have to close down because of the property taxes.
Right.
And instead of recognizing it and saying, you know what, maybe we went too far, we need to pull back on some of these taxes, they're like, no, we're going to create a grant program. And I'm like, how insulting is this to the business owners? The business owners don't want a grant program. They don't want to have to go to the government and beg the government for money. They just want to do their business and pay a lower tax rate so that they can hire the employees they want to hire, so they can charge acceptable prices to their customers and not go out of business.
So I'm just going to say this to you, okay? We just got our revenue report. Our revenues are up in Tennessee because people continue to spend money.
Yes.
You let people keep the money in their pocket from no property taxes, right? No state income tax, no state property tax we're voting on this fall, right?
Yep.
You let people keep their money. You create a great economic environment for businesses to want to come in here and offer something for sale, and you churn the mechanism through people saying, I want to participate.
I just don't for the life of me understand if we have the fertile soil of business opportunity. Yeah. We have a low tax rate. We have an increasingly better educated population to act as employees. Why on top of that? And people say, well, because these big businesses, they'll go somewhere else. Well, to hell with them. Let them go somewhere. Let Starbucks go somewhere else then.
I've got 3% unemployment.
Right?
I mean, really? Here's the thing.
I mean,
folks.
why are we giving? I mean, I just to put a fine. Why in the world are we giving Starbucks $30 million? It doesn't make any sense.
Here's my political speech for today. Right? Here's my rant. Nashville. Give the Republicans a chance to run Nashville for you. Elect people that will run off Republican principles. And as good as Nashville is right now, if you lower the income, the property taxes, and if you lowered and make the business environment more attractive,
you'd make more money.
Holy smokes!
You'd make more money.
You'd make more money.
You'd bring more money in on taxes alone. Not to mention how the businesses.
Because I want people to come here and spend their money through the process of the business, which employs people who get paychecks who do what, Matt? They go out and they buy things. It churns the economy.
One, I guess the concept
which is what Washington should do.
Yeah, no doubt. So the concept of this $600 million, I mean, I've been referring to it as a slush fund. Is that unfair?
It's kind of unfair. We put money aside for projects because we don't want to have to borrow money. So we create a piggy bank, right? We stash money aside for investments in something that we don't know what might come along, right?
Major
League Baseball, right? What if Major League Baseball comes in and says, hey, we need another $500,000?
You know, hey, Jackson, I bet Cepiki would be all about a Major League Baseball stadium.
One thing I am is consistent. I will still be an unfortunate no vote because last time I checked, the owners of Major League Baseball are not on welfare.
That's what I understand.
And they drive really nice. Well, they have people drive them around in really nice cars.
But I'm glad I'm not the only guy that noticed the irony.
Yeah.
That the business owner of the place that they held the announcement ceremony has said, if these taxes don't go down, I'm going to have to go out of business.
Correct.
And they're holding a ceremony that would not exist but for corporate welfare for the stadium.
I hear you. Sometimes you can't write this stuff.
Cepiki, is there anything else?
No. When we do get the results on our TCAP scores, I'll make sure to keep you informed on that. And then we're watching higher ed right now. We got some issues with higher ed we're working on.
What issues do we have with higher ed?
We want higher graduation rates. Our graduation rates are not where they should be. We just switched it up, going from 6 years and 4 years. So looking at our 4-year colleges off a 6-year graduation rate and our community colleges off a 4. We switched them back to 4 and 2 like it should be.
I remembered what I wanted to ask you.
Yes. Yes, you can own a raccoon in Tennessee.
Yeah, well, you certainly can.
Still waiting for your hat that the boys gave you from Nashville.
I've got it in my closet, and you don't have to pay for a permit. And next year we're going for permitless raccoon ownership. But Knox County Commission unanimously passed a resolution this week stating that data centers will not be able to connect to the electrical grid in Knox County.
Mm-hmm.
This is a next big debate.
Yes.
About the role of the government as a voice of the people versus business opportunity versus AI. And I'm listening to all sides here, and the people are pretty uniform in their. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the modern NIMBY, right? I compared it to, we all know that we need a trash dump, but nobody wants the trash dump in our backyard.
Correct.
Not in my backyard syndrome. And, even if we recognize the necessity for these quote unquote data centers, people don't want them in their neighborhoods.
Well, they are a huge drain on infrastructure. Huge drain. Water, electricity, which water in Middle Tennessee, as you know,
big deal,
is a commodity.
Big deal.
It's a big commodity right now. And so I think, and I heard your show about the guy who said about space.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy too. Yeah.
But they're talking about doing
it. And it's like, it makes total sense. Space is cold. They'll never overheat.
Right.
I get it, right? And maybe.
I mean, when he said it, I thought, whatever. And I start doing some research. I was like, wait a minute. They're actually talking about putting these data centers in space.
Yeah, I stopped the tractor and actually Googled it on my phone. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
But hey, that's technology, What's next? Final frontier.
But and some say just shut it all down. But I think that's a little short-sighted, too, because I promise you who's not shutting it down, and that's China. Oh,
no. This is the new arms race.
Right.
This new arms race. I mean, if you look at the Ukraine war, right, technology has changed the battlefield.
Yeah.
Look at Iran, right?
Iran. I mean,
technology has changed the battlefield.
Look, the Iranians are surviving on their ability to produce $40,000 drones, which sounds like a lot of money. But when you have to use $1 million missile to shoot down a $40,000 drone, you can start doing the math.
Yes. So that's going to be the new new wave, and that's why we're really pushing mathematics in Tennessee right now. We need those new mathematicians coming forward to be thinking about how we're going to do this.
Do you foresee the General Assembly putting some guardrails on things like data centers?
Yes, I think we did already. We had something where they have to pay for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that.
I mean, that's where you start from. Now, you got to be careful about putting your finger on the scale too much because you don't want to make
because you're impacting business.
You don't want to make kings, right?
Right.
Because once you do it here, then people tend to want to do it here too. And before you know it, we're putting our fingers all over business, and we got to be careful of that. We do have a problem right now with insurance in the state of Tennessee. The General Assembly keeps putting our fingers on the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do it for our state plan, and we don't do it for TennCare. We let them off the hook. So we gotta be consistent.
Just to show you that not everyone in my listening audience is very smart, someone just said, "Hey, I really like this dude, Matt. Who is this?"
My name is Monty Fritz. No, actually, I should have said, I'm Ken Weaver.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's not Ken Weaver. That's Scott Cepiki. Thank you, Cepiki.
Thanks, Matt.
Always a pleasure to talk with you. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy, brand new sponsor alert. It's Timberland Cabinetry, timberlandcabinets.com. They were founded in Middle Tennessee in 2005. Their entire factory is located in Columbia. I found these guys almost by accident. I stopped by doing running an errand for a friend of mine. Well, Keith from Contour. I don't mind telling you. Keith from Contour said, "Hey, would you pick up some cabinets from Timberland?" And then I got to talking to Steve and the rest of the crew at Timberland, Deb, over there at the front desk. And man, oh man, they're good people. We love good people. We love good businesses. And I said, y'all need to let me tell everybody about what you do. Plus, we need some cabinets in the kitchen area of our home. They serve homeowners, home builders, remodelers, and dealers across the United States of America, but made locally right here in our state. They can walk you through and show you the entire process from start to finish, and it's fascinating. I did this, and I love the fact that the factory's right here. We're employing Middle Tennessee folks, and these are solid cabinets. These are wooden cabinets. You're not going to find any particle board or anything like that. No low quality that can't handle moisture or steady use. This is solid wood, hardwood cabinets, and you don't have to pay a lot to get a lot at Timberland Cabinets. I want you to go to timberlandcabinets.com. That's timberlandcabinets.com. I've also got a telephone number for you because, I like to do this, particularly with our new sponsors to the Matt Murphy Show. Give them a call and thank them for sponsoring the show because we so appreciate them. We so appreciate what they do. They have showrooms in Columbia and Franklin. Find out more at timberlandcabinets.com or 931-499-7170. 499-7170 for Timberland Cabinets.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Rutherford County officials asking residents cut back on water use due to severe drought conditions like watering the lawn, filling pools. Voluntary conservation's underway now, but mandatory restrictions could follow if conditions don't improve. Maybe all this rain will help it improve. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. We've got breaking news, and it is sad news. NASCAR mourning the loss of two-time Cup Series champion Kyle Busch, who has died at the age of 41. Earlier today, Busch's family announced he had been hospitalized with a severe illness and would miss the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte this weekend. Just hours later, NASCAR confirming his passing, sending shockwaves through the racing world. Busch leaves behind a Hall of Fame career highlighted by 63 Cup wins and championships in 2015 and 2019. In our nation's capital, after a tense closed-door meeting with the acting attorney general, GOP Senate leaders decided not to move forward with plans to vote today or tomorrow on a measure funding ICE and the Border Patrol. The debate has been kicked into next month, as ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy reports from Washington.
The 2-hour closed-door meeting had Republicans airing their frustrations about the fund directly to acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Heading into the huddle, North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis told reporters,
"It sends a signal, hey, go breach the Capitol, destroy the building, assault police officers, you may even get compensated for someday. That's absurd."
Rather than facing efforts by Democrats to force votes on the anti-weaponization fund, GOP leaders sent senators home for a 10-day recess. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Here in Tennessee, the execution of death row inmate Tony Carruthers has been delayed for a year. This is after problems inside the execution chamber this morning. Attorneys say prison officials were unable to establish an IV line for about an hour. This delay came after the U.S. Supreme Court had declined to halt the execution earlier in the day, but now the governor has put off Carruthers' execution for a year. He'll remain on death row. One of the Republicans running for governor says it's time to help Tennesseans struggling financially under inflation and higher fuel costs. State Rep Monty Fritz telling WTN's Chris Hanshow.
But I think we're in financial shape in Tennessee to be able to help Tennesseans, and I think our fellow Tennesseans are looking for us to help them get through this really hard time.
So Fritz says a report shows the state has already doubled projected revenue growth for the year. So he sent a letter yesterday asking Governor Lee, Speaker Sexton, and Lieutenant Governor McNally for a suspension of the state gas, diesel, and food taxes until the end of the fiscal year. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Watkins Park, we got a crash blocking the left lane, 40 eastbound near Charlotte Avenue. A crash in Berry Hill, 65 southbound at I-440. Over by the airport, 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway, exit 215. West End Avenue at Murphy Road, Orleans Drive. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy Show continues. We're about halfway home, just after 7 minutes past 5 o'clock. We're here till 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll get back to your telephone calls momentarily. MC's been holding for some time. We'll get to you, MC, right around the corner. Discussing earlier today the suspension of a death penalty sentence being carried out by the governor of the state, giving a 1-year moratorium or extension on that death penalty sentence based on the fact that the Tennessee Department of Corrections could not find an appropriate vein in order to execute the individual. More on that coming up in a moment. We'll continue taking your telephone calls. Ninkapoop's in the news coming up in a minute. But I got to tell you, y'all know that, I mean, we do political talk radio. That's what I do for a living. I've been doing it for a long, long time. For 26 years now, I have had the honor and privilege of doing this and earning a living doing it. And I absolutely love what we do. And some days are worse than others. And I got to tell you, I am in the political world. This is part of what we do for our job, is to deliver the news. But this death of Kyle Busch has really, I mean, it's hit me like a ton of bricks.
Dude,
I don't know.
This is out of nowhere.
Well, Ken, this is, yes. So I kind of set it up by going, I talk about politics, but people that listen to the show regularly, y'all know how much I love motorsports. Y'all know how much I love NASCAR. I mean, heck, Jackson and I are going to the race next week at Nashville Superspeedway. And frankly, Jackson, I was hoping that we would see Kyle Busch. I mean, I was, because he regularly drives in the truck race. And we're going on Friday to the truck race. We're invited to be kind of behind the walls in the pits during the race. And but if you've not heard, Ken Weaver just delivered the very sad news that Kyle Busch, at the age of 41, has passed away. So what I understood, so I saw this when it happened, Ken, in the aftermath of the race a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It wasn't I don't think it was the All-Star, maybe it was the All-Star race. It was the All-Star race that Busch asked over the radio if the NASCAR doctor was still around. He asked his crew chief. He was like, hey, is Dr. So-and-so still around? And I'm paraphrasing this. Y'all can find this. It's going to be out there plenty. And the guy said, yeah. And he goes, I'm going to need a shot when we get done. I need to see him. I need a shot. And they asked the Busch team about that. And apparently he had some pretty major sinus infection that was going on, and it was causing his head to clog up. And if you've ever had a really, really bad sinus infection and everything's clogged up, I mean, it makes your head just feel like an absolute balloon. And reportedly, that's what was going on. So, okay, well, hope you get better. Hope your sinus infection improves. One wonders if that had anything to do with this, because yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that there was an announcement that he would not be a part of the Charlotte race, the Coca-Cola 600. The Richard Childress Racing announced that because of a health issue and because he had to be hospitalized due to that health issue, that he would not be racing in the Coca-Cola 600 over the weekend, over the Memorial Day holiday. And they announced a driver would be racing in his absence. And, we they wished him well. And today, just less than an hour ago, it was announced that Kyle Busch had died at the age of 41.
Man.
Just
We got to find out what that was.
Yeah, and, no word on it right now, but so it's natural to believe these things were interrelated, right, Ken? So
Yeah, you just assume.
you assume that, okay, he was having a health issue that necessitated him to ask on the radio while he's in the car, while he's driving, hey, is the doctor there? I'm going to need to see the doctor when we're done because I need a shot. And then several days later, he's hospitalized. An announcement is made that he won't be able to drive this weekend. And then let me tell y'all something. And I don't get very maudlin on the show very often or we are not promised anything in this world.
No,
And it is a reminder in grief that we celebrate every day, that we cherish every day, that we remind ourselves to hug our loved ones, to be in the moment of the day, to be in the spirit of the day, to love on the people that love us back, and just remind ourselves that we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're just not. We're just not. And we all got it coming, and we just don't know when. Kyle Busch is dead at the age of 41. For those that don't know, he was an absolute generational talent in the sport. If you don't follow the sport of NASCAR, this is a 100%. I mean, he is in the top echelons of NASCAR as a sport.
63 Cup wins.
Well, not only that, Ken,
And championships?
Yeah, a couple of championships, 2015, 2019, 63 Cup wins, which is 9th all-time. But he also has 102 wins in the O'Reilly series, which is that's the division right. It used to be Xfinity, I guess. Now they call it the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and 69 wins in the Truck Series. So he had well over 200 victories in all three series.
Wow.
The 102 wins in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is a record. He's number one on that list. The 69 wins in the Craftsman Truck Series is a record. He's number one on that list. He was 9th on the NASCAR list of all-time race victories with 63. I mean, so obviously the Busch family, his racing organization, Richard Childress Racing, NASCAR, they made this statement. I'll just read the statement to you. On behalf of the Busch family, everyone at Richard Childress Racing and all of NASCAR were devastated to announce the sudden and tragic passing of Kyle Busch. Our entire NASCAR family is heartbroken by the loss of Kyle Busch. A future Hall of Famer, Kyle was a rare talent, one who comes along once in a generation. He was fierce, he was passionate, he was immensely skilled, and he cared deeply about the sport and fans. Throughout a career that spanned more than 2 decades, Kyle set records in National Series wins, won championships at NASCAR's highest level, and fostered the next generation of drivers as an owner in the Truck Series. His sharp wit, competitive spirit sparked a deep emotional connection with fans of every age, creating the proud and loyal Rowdy Nation. Our thoughts are with Samantha, Brexton, Lennox, Kyle and Samantha's parents, Kurt, and all of Kyle's family. You know, Kurt Busch obviously is his brother and ran for years in the NASCAR circuit. During this incredibly difficult time, we ask everyone to respect the family's privacy and continue to keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Further updates will be shared as appropriate. Kyle Busch dead. I mean, and Kyle Busch celebrated his role as a heel on the circuit. So for those that don't know, I mean, you know, in wrestling terminology, I mean, if you're going to have people you love and support, you're going to have people that you hate on the track. And Kyle Busch was easy to hate when he was riding around the track on a race car. If you were rooting for somebody else, Kyle beat your driver enough that, boy, oh boy. And he understood his role and kind of leaned into it. At one point when he was winning races, y'all, he would Have you ever seen him do the bow, Ken? Do you ever see the bow? He knew that people, he had his fans and he loved his fans, but he knew that a lot of people at the track just hated him, And so when he would win, I'm going to do this on camera. When he would win a race, he would get the flag and he would stand up and he would do this. And he would do that deep bow and people would boo, boo. And he loved it. He loved it. Man, oh man, that's just he was one of a kind and a very special driver, and just a reminder once again that nothing on this earth is guaranteed us. Nothing. Y'all just hug your loved ones. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. MC is next. I apologize for your wait, MC. Thank you for your patience.
Well, apologies accepted. It's a privilege always to come on your show, and really what I wanted to talk about has kind of been overshadowed because I, too, like you, am a race fan, and I have been in Richard Childress's business in Welcome, North Carolina, and I've shaken hands with Mr. Childress, who's a great American patriot.
He's a fine man. Yes, sir.
He's got one grandson who's a good driver. He's got one that ought to be doing Baptist revivals. We won't go there. That's Austin's good. Ty, he calls his Rex,
sure,
whatever. But Nashvillians will remember Kyle for taking that beautiful trophy at we used to call it the Busch race, the guitar, and breaking it like he was in the Who. He just thought it would be a cool thing to do, and then most Nashvillians are like, "Are you stupid?" But he was a great heel, but so was Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
And his brother Kurt. And it's great to pull for people. I like the guy. And I pull for people who drive Mustangs, brother.
And MC, I'll say this, and I don't know if you feel the same way. I mean, I came into NASCAR. For me, my journey was mid-'90s. And I became a Jeff Gordon fan because everybody hated him, right? And I'm like, because everybody's like, oh, he hadn't paid his dues. And I'm like, well,
ladies love Jeff Gordon, brother.
Well, I mean, I was like, well, if you're good enough, you don't have to pay your dues. But anyway, by the time Gordon was doing really, really good, and then here comes this young snot nose, Kyle Busch, and I'm like, who's this guy? And so I became the fan. I was like, well, he hadn't paid his dues, But right. I couldn't stand him early on. And over the last 10 years, I've loved him because he understood his role. He's so good behind the wheel of a car. And you have to respect the incredible raw talent that he had.
Thank you. He had great talent. And what I call to talk about is people who aren't that talented. And that's ones that can't find a secondary vein on a triple murderer. And, you and I both spent a lot of time in Alabama. I know you're a Georgian. And I'm a Tennessean, but Kay Ivey was able to solve a problem down at, I don't know if they're still at Holman, Yellow Mama, she's gone, but they had a problem like this down there, and they just went back to it. Well, here's what happens: if you're on death row for 30 years eating fruit cocktail and macaroni and cheese, you develop diabetes and you lose your veins. Well, let's just go back to firing squad or hanging. But, of course, that's violative of the Fourth Amendment, right? Not. Anyway.
No,
what say you, Mr. Murphy?
It is sickening, and I've long said this. I was prepared and still might tell the story about the people that Carruthers so callously and brutally murdered. And what I try to do, because the media – and I don't know if they do this intentionally or what, but they focus so much on the murderer, the killer, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Let's focus on the reason that they're being put to death, the victims and what they did to the victims.
Well,
go ahead.
If you've got Kim Kardashian on your side, this is her boy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, her dad was on OJ's side. He was innocent, obviously, right? Come on, let's get real, man. If we're going to have a death penalty in this state, use it or lose it. This isn't the 1950s where we sentenced black men to death because they armed robbery somebody. This state only kills white child killers. Now, why even have a death penalty if that's all you do? I've said my say. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch.
Amen.
You have a great day, man.
You too,
Bye.
MC. Tony Carruthers needs to be unalived today. It's just maddening that I think MC just said it. Why do we even bother with this charade if they're going to sit there for 35 years? They're going to live their lives through the appellate process. We waste such tremendous amounts of money allowing them opportunities to appeal after appeal after appeal after appeal. They exhaust that appellate process, and before you know it, it's been 25 or 30 years. And we get to the point of execution, and Governor Bill Lee announced at about 1 o'clock that he was granting Carruthers a, quote, temporary reprieve from execution for 1 year. And why 1 year? If you're going to engage in the death penalty, if you believe, and I understand that there's a debate about it. I understand that some do not believe in a government that ought to be big enough to put someone to death. Some believe that we should have more sound life imprisonment or more harsh conditions within the penal system and eliminate the death penalty altogether. I've heard that argument, and I can hear it, and I listen to it, and that's fine. But the way we're doing this just seems dumb. We're like half pregnant. My plan has always been on any death penalty case, you have a 3-judge panel that sits in the trial, that does not participate in any way in the trial. And any and all appeals that will be engaged in, let's say we get a conviction and let's say the jury sentences the individual on trial to death, then any appeals that the defense has to make, they will be immediately made not to any other organization or organized activity outside. They're made to that appellate panel, that 3-judge panel that is specifically there to listen, to observe. So they don't have to go over the paperwork. They don't have to go over the transcripts. They look at the nature of the appeal and they rule on it. And you could do that within 90 days of sentencing. You got 30 days, you got 45 days to file the appeal, you got another 45 days for the 3-judge panel to rule on it, and then you got one other shot at it, and that other shot's at the Tennessee Supreme Court on a state case. And I suppose I'll give you one other shot, so that's number 3 to the United States Supreme Court. But other than that, let's make this happen, and let's get this done within, I don't know, can we not cut down 35 years and turn it into 5? Is that too much to ask? The Tennessee Department of Corrections on the Carruthers case reported that medics were able to establish a primary vein, but unsuccessful finding a required backup vein. I don't give a damn about Tony Carruthers. He slaughtered 3 people and attempted to hide what he had done in a grave. 24 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7, WTN. Defense Systems is a life safety and security consultation firm. It's based right here in Middle Tennessee. The expertise of Defense Systems lies in their experience, right? Brink Fiddler is the owner of Defense Systems. He and his team, they have decades of experience in what they do, giving them firsthand involvement in defeating multitudes of security measures and technologies. In other words, they understand what you need to know about an active shooter response. They understand workplace violence. They understand security improvement, and they consult you in that regard. Emergency and intruder action plans. Bottom line is this, folks. You want the people at your place of business to understand what to do in the unlikely event, and it is unlikely, that you have a violent situation break out in your workplace or your school or your church. If you're a decision maker anywhere people gather, you owe it to your office, you owe it to your church or school to contact Brink Fiddler today at Defend Systems. DefendSystems.com is the website, DefendSystems.com, or reach out at 615-236-6484, 236-6484 for Defend Systems. It can be hard to find someone you trust when it comes to large home repairs, like, I don't know, your heater or air conditioner. If your air conditioner is not working as it should, who do you call? Do you know off the top of your head? Well, if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know who I recommend, Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. If you're trying to make that decision to replace, it's a hard one because that's a lot of money. That's a hard check to write. But here's the bottom line. When Efficient Heating and Cooling comes out to your home, they are problem solvers. They want to get to the bottom of the issue and extend the life of that AC unit. And if they can't, if it's time, when they tell you, they'll fully explain it to you in ways that you completely understand. They did this with me. I mean, Roger was out at my home and explained to me that we had a cracked heater body, and sadly, that was, they could replace that, but that's going to cost you so much that their advice was to go ahead and replace the unit, which is what we did. Now, when it's time to replace, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, and they can recommend the right system for you and your family. And that's what it's all about. And they have financing available if you so desire. EfficientHVAC.net, EfficientHVAC.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for our friends at Efficient Heating and Cooling.
NASCAR driver Kyle Busch went into the hospital this morning. This afternoon, he has passed away. We'll get you the details on that. Also, a tense closed-door meeting with GOP Senate leaders and the acting Attorney General. That story and more coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, that's on the way mere moments from now. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. Hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
9468 has asked, is there a wreck 65 northbound headed toward White House, or is that just that construction delay? I included the is that just the construction delay?
That is just construction delay. I apologize for not mentioning that today, but that's the construction delay, and it's probably people getting out of town for the weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of it over the next several days, y'all. I mean, a lot of folks to today. I mean, Ken, as an example, Ken, you're off tomorrow.
Off tomorrow.
And I bet you'll be heading out of town tomorrow.
We'll be heading out of town bright and early tomorrow morning.
There you go. Are we heading west or east?
Heading over to Charlotte.
Oh, nice.
In fact, I'm only going to be about 1.5 miles away from the Coca-Cola 600.
What?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
My in-laws live right there.
That's pretty cool. You can hear them?
Dude, it's like they're in the backyard.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you could
love
hear
it.
I guarantee you could hear them if you're just 1.5 miles away. That's pretty cool.
I love it.
That's awesome. Well, it'll be a somber mood, I'll tell you that.
Yes, sir.
Steve wants to know, hey, Matt, what car did Kyle Busch drive? He was in the number 8 vehicle. He drove for Richard Childress Racing last couple of years and was not very competitive on the big circuit, just because of equipment is mostly what the issue was, because he was such a good wheelman behind the wheel of that car. And I know that frustrated him in the last couple of years. But for most of his career, he was with Joe Gibbs Racing, and he drove the M&M car for a number of those years. So he was in the M&M's car for a pretty good length of time. And gosh, I cannot remember his number. If y'all can remember the number of Kyle Busch, let me know. Tell Ken I grew up 1.5 miles from Charlotte Speedway too. How about that?
What do you know about that?
Wait, this is 6436. That isn't your dad or mom, is it, Ken?
No. Now, they're all in Oklahoma.
Oh, that's right. These are the in-laws.
Yeah, these are in-laws.
6436 said, I grew up about 1.5 miles from Charlotte Speedway. Well, you should go back to your home place there, 6436, and then pop a cold one with Ken Weaver this week.
I'm definitely going to be doing that.
Thank you. Number 18. Thank you. He was 8 at Richard Childress Racing. He was number 18 driving for Joe Gibbs Racing for so many years. And he won most, I guess, probably all of his 63 races in the NASCAR Cup Series with Joe Gibbs Racing. Kyle Busch passing away at the age of 41. Lindsay and Mike and Larry, we'll get to you in a moment. We also have Ninka Poops on the way at Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Despite some rain and what we're going to get beyond today, Rutherford County remains in severe drought. Needs much more to recover. Officials in Rutherford County now asking everyone to cut back on water use and rethink outdoor activities like watering the lawn, even filling up the pool. They want this to be voluntary for now. They don't want to go mandatory. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Traffic, too. The tragic news out of NASCAR today is Kyle Busch has died at the age of 41. The longtime driver had been hospitalized earlier today with what his family called a severe illness. Busch was set to miss this weekend's Coca-Cola 600 before the stunning update of his passing. One of the sport's greatest drivers. He won 2 Cup titles, more than 60 races in his career. And after a tense closed-door meeting in our nation's capital with the acting attorney general, GOP Senate leaders decided not to move forward with plans to vote today or tomorrow on a measure funding ICE and the Border Patrol. The debate has been kicked into next month, says ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Republicans had hoped to begin a round-the-clock series of votes in the Senate on a bill to fund 3 years' worth of immigration enforcement. But behind closed doors for nearly 2 hours with Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, GOP senators aired their frustrations about the administration's new anti-weaponization fund. Democrats have been hoping to force votes on it on the floor. But rather than subjecting their members to those tough votes on the fund, Republican leaders decided to send senators home for a week-long Memorial Day recess instead.
A scheduled execution in Nashville today paused after they couldn't get the IV with the drugs into a vein on Tony Carruthers, convicted of kidnapping, robbing, and killing 3 people, then by burying them alive in 1994. So Governor Lee now granting a 1-year reprieve while Carruthers will remain on death row. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Yeah, that 65 northbound is a parking lot through that construction before you get to Goodlettsville. We've got crashes in other areas backing us up. In fact, the left lane, Block 40 eastbound near Church Street, Berry Hill 65 southbound at 440, Madison, Gallatin Pike North near Old Hickory Boulevard, B&A 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway, Hillsborough West End Avenue at Murphy's Road, and that's Murphy Road in Orleans Drive. And then Two Rivers, Briley Parkway southbound at Opry Mills. I'm Ken Weaver.
The Wellness Institute of Nashville wants to help you lead a pain-free life. The last thing you need in your life is to feel constant pain in your shoulders, your hips, your elbows, your back. I mean, the back has a lot of places where it can hurt, and I experienced that until I experienced the spinal decompression technology available at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. The way is to get to Dr. Kevin Mitchell and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute and find out exactly what they can do for you. Now, they've got spinal decompression technology, they've got the hydrowave technology, and now the futuristic Medical Bay 1. That experience is pretty cool. Futuristic healing machine massages the body, doing full body lasers, including red light therapy, adding stem cell stimulation for tissue regeneration. It's a futuristic way for you to feel the healing process and for you to feel less pain and feel better about your body and about your life. The Epic Spinal Special is ongoing, $33 off every single visit. They have my seal of approval, and I want you to experience the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Go to painisbad.com, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009 for our friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I don't know. You know, we're going to get to nincompoops in a minute, and we're going to have some good times with that, and we'll have fun with it. I had to pick a different nincompoop because I felt weird. My original nincompoop was about King Charles. I hope I'm not stealing anyone else's nincompoop, but my original one Well, I'll tell you what my original one is in a moment. I feel like I had to shift. I was thinking about my buddy Wayne. Y'all don't know Wayne because Wayne died when he was 33 years of age. It was Kyle Busch passed away at the age of 41 today. He was admitted to the hospital. I thought it was yesterday. Is this morning?
Yeah, it was this morning, all of a sudden.
And one wonders if it was related to that incident from last week. I think someone said that he won the Dover truck race Friday, and then he competed in the All-Star, and this was all-star race. This was an all-star race at Dover Motor Speedway. They do the all-star race. For those unfamiliar with NASCAR racing, they have an all-star race in the middle of the season that does not count toward the points for the championships. And it was at Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware this year, and Kyle drove in the truck race and apparently won it, and then and competed in the other race and was complaining about some sort of sinus-related or nasal-related issues. And then, so naturally you wonder, was this related to that? We don't know. No one has said, but he was admitted to the hospital. It was announced this morning that he would not compete in the Coca-Cola 600. They announced his replacement driver said that he had a serious illness that he was dealing with, and he has passed away at the age of 41. It just, I don't know. I was texting back and forth with our good friend Jay St. Clair, who will be on tomorrow with us for Friday. Obviously, Jay's a big race car fan of motorsports, generally speaking, and we were just talking about how we're not guaranteed. And Jay was like, well, you had a good friend that died, and I did. My best friend, I met Wayne Gregory in college when I was, 18 years old. And it was one of those, Jackson, Tyler's your best friend, your best buddy. And it would be, and I know you and Tyler met when y'all were kids, but when Wayne and I met, it was like, well, this is my best friend. This is going to be my best friend for the rest of my life. This is the guy. Yeah, and y'all know those connections when you experience them. And Wayne died at the age of 33. And I was 31. He was 2 years older than me. And, it's just something you don't get over. And you don't expect someone to die suddenly, especially someone like Kyle Busch who, say what you will, you get into an automobile, you're able to drive around an automobile and handle that car and handle the heat and handle everything that goes with it. You are certainly an athlete, no question. So we'll get to Larry and Mike and Lindsay right now. We will turn our attention to more fun things, as we often do this time of day. Let's talk about nincompoops.
Nincompoops in the news.
All right, let's lighten the load a little bit and find those nincompoops where they live and where they breathe. We go all across the volunteer state of Tennessee. We go across these United States of America.
Nay, the globe.
Nay, the globe, Ken Weaver. Nay, the globe. Now, originally, mine was across the pond, y'all. But I have decided not to do the King Charles story because I found a better one. But I don't get to go first. Well, how do we decide who goes first? I guess I do. Because Cameron won yesterday. Now, that puts a little cramp in this whole thing. I'll tell you what, I'm going to decide because I don't think I'm really in the running because Ken's not here tomorrow. And so this dang thing is decided today.
So the King Charles thing is available?
It is.
Okay, because that was mine.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, it's been mine the whole day.
Has it now?
It's been pulled up on here.
Yes, the King Charles is now available.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
but
very
don't
good.
I get to go first?
Well, no.
Well, I won the most. I'm the most recent winner out of the three of us.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, because I won Tuesday.
No,
No,
wait a
no,
minute.
no.
I won Wednesday.
No, Cameron won yesterday.
Cameron won yesterday.
Yeah, but today's my Friday.
That's great. Go ahead, Jackson. I'm going to be the judge of this, so I'm not going to comment. Ken says that today's his Friday, and he won Wednesday, and that means Thursday is the 4th of never. And
That's right.
That means he gets to go.
All right. We're going with the order of Williams, Weaver, Murphy.
Yay!
What?
Actually, Williams, Murphy, Weaver.
Oh!
That's fine. I don't think anybody's got mine. Mine is a personal vendetta against this activity. I can't win this week. Weaver will either retain the crown for the next week or Jackson Williams will swipe it from him. Murphy's out of the running, and so I'm just going to take the opportunity to hate on this annual activity that I hate so much. So y'all just have at it, brother. Go ahead, Jackson. You're first.
All right, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Ready, Brother Jackson.
Radio station apologizes after accidentally announcing the death of King Charles.
Can't believe I gave this one to you.
A radio station in the United Kingdom has apologized to King Charles and its listeners after accidentally and incorrectly announcing the death of the monarch. Due to a computer error at our main studio, the death of a monarch procedure, which all UK stations hold in readiness while hoping not to require, was accidentally activated on Tuesday afternoon, the 19th of May.
They've got a procedure.
Mistakenly announcing that His Majesty the King had passed away, the station manager for Radio Caroline, Peter Moore, said in a statement shared on social media. Radio Caroline then fell silent, as would be required, which alerted us to restore programming and issue an on-air apology. Caroline has been pleased to broadcast Her Majesty's the Queen and now the King's Christmas message, and we hope to do so for many years to come. We apologize to His Majesty the King and to our listeners for any distress caused. Established in 1964, Radio Caroline broadcasts in multiple countries, including Belgium and the Netherlands, and is available online worldwide. On the day of the erroneous announcement, King Charles and Queen Camilla were in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Queen who?
Camilla? Kamala?
I'd go Kamala. Or, I think it's Camilla, actually.
Camilla?
Yeah.
There you go, Brother Jackson.
The
Camilla.
77-year-old and his wife joined a cultural celebration at Thompson Dock, the dry ground where the Titanic stood before its maiden voyage. Buckingham Palace said in a statement.
Are you going to do all this? Because I don't.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think we need.
They messed up their nincompoops.
They are nincompoops. They
also. Do you think
so? There's a protocol. So y'all know that like broadcast companies in the United States of America, we don't do that here, but like major broadcast companies like the hashtag Never CNN, ABC, CBS, they plan on people dying, and they put packages together.
Oh yeah.
For people dying.
But there's like a government protocol for when a monarch dies.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Do you think it's a big red button?
You know.
You think somebody slipped and hit the big red button?
I don't know what happened.
Do you think they are in deep trouble?
They're the king, heavy as the head that wears the. I mean, I don't know. You're the monarch of the radio show. What would you say?
This would not go unpunished.
Fair.
I wish you'd have done that in a British accent, Brother Jackson.
Radio Caroline issued a statement Monday saying...
It's the kid. You're right. Kid's right. If you'd have done that entire story in British accent, you would have 100... I mean, you might win anyway, but you would have 100% won.
A Southern Brit.
Hey, just read the statement, because I've got the story of it. The statement that they made about due to a computer error. Just read that one in a British accent.
Due to a computer error at our main studio, the death of a monarch procedure, which all UK stations hold at the ready while hoping not to require, was accidentally activated on Tuesday afternoon, the 19th of May, mistakenly announcing that His Majesty the King had passed away. The station manager for... Oh, we lost it.
Oh, yeah.
The station manager for Radio Caroline, Peter Moore, said in a statement shared on social media.
Give us a long live the king.
Long live the king.
Okay, good.
Horn guy's out of the crapper.
Ken Weaver, you're nincompoop.
Oh, I'm next?
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to go last.
Meet Crazy with Crazy. Mom chases home intruder away with a stick. An Oregon mother of 2 is sharing her story after a man allegedly broke into her home and threatened to kill her entire family. Suspect later arrested after hitting a cop in the head with a rock.
Oh, no.
Amanda Materi Brown was at home with her 2 children Thursday in Portland's Overlook neighborhood. She found a man, later identified by the Portland Police Bureau as 35-year-old Timothy Reed, standing inside her home by her sliding glass door. He was holding the lid to her metal trash can in one hand and an unknown object in the other. Materi Brown says she immediately decided to confront him. Meet crazy with crazy is really what I thought, she said. She grabbed the stick that she keeps by her bed, a stick, mind you, and she chased Reed right out of her home. I just went for him, she said. I completely just started swinging the stick at him, and he started backing up out of the house, which was ideal. A neighbor's Ring camera captured audio of the confrontation in which you can hear Materi Brown shouting at Reed. Once she chased the suspect away, she called 911. Police found Reed at a nearby park, say he ran, leading them to a footbridge. And when an officer approached Reed to arrest him, the suspect hit the officer in the head with a softball-sized rock. Reed was booked on several charges, including first-degree burglary, second-degree assault, assaulting a cop. Materi Brown says she and her family are relieved. We're okay, she said. You know, bad things happen in life. We're not going to let it make us afraid. Police say the officer who was hit with the rock has been released from the hospital and cleared to return to duty.
That's good.
According to court documents, Reed had been arrested just the prior week for allegedly exposing himself to people at a park, telling police he was told to do it by God.
Oh, no. Well, I don't think the Lord wants you to do all that.
No, sir.
No. That guy's an nincompoop.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of pulling your hot dogs out,
Yeah.
I've got a hot dog story.
All right.
All right, here we go. Competitive eater Joey Chestnut, the reigning champion and 17-time winner of Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest, will compete in the July 4th spectacle while on probation after he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor battery charge. Chestnut was accused of slapping a man in the face during a night out at an Indiana bar. According to his attorney, he entered a guilty plea April 20, was sentenced to 180 days of probation in Hamilton County. A judge has granted him permission to travel outside the state, allowing Chestnut to defend his title and the signature mustard belt on Coney Island this summer. It was a misunderstanding. Joey understood that he wants to accept responsibility for the actions. When police questioned Chestnut, he said that he was drunk and did not remember the altercation. His attorney said that he was taken out of context, and Chestnut was nervous when speaking to officers before he had an attorney. Richard Shea, the co-founder and president of Major League Eating, which oversees Nathan's famous contest, said the altercation does not affect Chestnut's competition eligibility. The incident does not violate Major League Eating's code of conduct. It occurred outside of any organizational event. Have you ever watched this hot dog eating contest? Here's the reason that I bring all of this up. This contest and everyone that participates in it, you're a bunch of nincompoops. You're disgusting. I root for the hot dogs every year. I root for as many reversals as I can possibly find. And I would listen, folks, this is harsh, but it is a reality. I just hope one person's stomach will explode. Just one stomach explosion, and we won't have to put up with this crap every year, because the only thing on July 4th, there's no sports, there's nothing to do. If you turn on the television, you got to watch these dumbasses eating hot dogs until they throw up.
You don't like the annual eating of the wieners, do you, Matt?
No, I don't, Brother Jameson or whatever your name is.
Jameson.
I mean,
that's King to you.
King Willie.
Well, now, Brother Murphy, you can watch the annual Twilight Zone Marathon.
That's what I should be watching, Ken. You're right. Everyone that participates in this is a nincompoop, Joey Chestnut included. It's disgusting.
It is pretty disgusting.
It's gross. It's just gross. And they dunk it in one. It's just a waste of good dogs.
It is.
A waste of good hot dogs. That's my nincompoops. You can vote for Murphy if you'd like. You can vote for Weaver. You can vote for Williams. We're going to find a winner out this week because Ken's off tomorrow. It's 54 after the hour. Vote for Wieners. Don't vote for Weaver. Vote for Wieners. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Vote for me.
For over a year now, I've been telling you about my friends at Contours LLC in Cool Springs. They use incredible red light technology to get rid of body fat inexpensively, without pain and no downtime. It works. I've done it. I should know. I've been doing it for a while now. One of the things I absolutely love hearing about are success stories, and we hear time and time again about people that do a package of treatments, lose a ton of inches off of your stomach area and a ton of weight as well. The stories that can be found online are just incredible. Contours website has them all at contoursllc.com. Gary went to Contours and spent, for example, Gary went to Contours and spent $99 to try their introductory session, that belly buster special. Ended up purchasing a whole package. Be like Gary. Start the journey today with a new you. Call Contours LLC at 615-236-9960. That's 615-236-9960. Or I encourage you to go online to contoursllc.com, see more stories like Gary's, hear more testimonials like Gary's, and get the success rolling with Contours LLC. What do you have to lose but inches? Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Shane Ring simply wants to have a conversation with you, and I think it can be a very beneficial conversation from a financial perspective because Shane has over 75 different plans and programs regarding health insurance at his fingertips. He works for none of these people. He works for you. When you call Shane Ring and Cover Nash, you are his customer, and he wants to do best by you. He wants to find you the right plan that's for you and your family. He wants to find the best deal possible. You should not overpay. And sadly, it's as if health insurance companies try to make these things as confusing as possible because they don't want you to understand the fine print. They don't want you to understand the red tape. Shane understands all of those things. He becomes your personal healthcare concierge. So don't believe people when they tell you, well, it's not open enrollment season, so you can't do anything. Not true. You can do things. You can make better plans and programs. You can find them. You do not have to play by Washington's rules. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or simply tired of paying too much, call 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com, covernash.com. Cover Nash, health coverage managed by you, not by the government.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Rutherford County now under severe drought conditions, even with the rain we're getting. Officials asking residents voluntarily cut your water use by 10%. Do things like skip watering your lawn or filling pools. Reduce your daily water use. They say they want to keep this voluntary. And as long as conditions don't get worse, they will. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Kyle Busch, one of NASCAR's most accomplished and polarizing champions, has passed away at the age of 41. The news came just hours after his family revealed he was hospitalized and undergoing treatment for a serious illness. Busch had been scheduled to sit out the Coca-Cola 600, marking his first missed race in years. His legacy includes 2 championships and a record-setting number of wins across NASCAR's top series. After a tense closed-door meeting in our nation's capital with the acting attorney general and GOP Senate leaders, they decided not to move forward with plans to vote today or tomorrow on a measure funding ICE and the Border Patrol. The debate has been kicked into next month, according to ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Republicans had hoped to begin a round-the-clock series of votes in the Senate on a bill to fund 3 years' worth of immigration enforcement. But behind closed doors for nearly 2 hours with Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, GOP senators aired their frustrations about the administration's new anti-weaponization fund. Democrats have been hoping to force votes on it on the floor. But rather than subjecting their members to those tough votes on the fund, Republican leaders decided to send senators home for a week-long Memorial Day recess instead.
Well, the execution of death row inmate Tony Carruthers called off today after officials were unable to complete the lethal injection process because they couldn't get an IV established. And Governor Lee then issuing a 1-year reprieve, keeping Carruthers on death row for now. And one of the Republicans running for governor says it's time to help Tennesseans struggling financially under inflation and higher fuel costs. State Rep Monty Fritz telling WTN's Chris Hanshow.
I sent Governor Lee and Speaker Sexton and Lieutenant Governor McNally yesterday a letter asking that we suspend the collection of gasoline tax, 26 cents a gallon in Tennessee, diesel fuel tax, 27 cents a gallon, and state grocery sales tax, 4 cents per dollar, through at least the end of the fiscal year.
Fritz says the state's already doubled the projected revenue growth for the year, and it can afford it. The fight over Tennessee's newly drawn congressional map is in court. The NAACP trying to convince the state Supreme Court to block using the map in upcoming elections. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Still a parking lot, northbound 65, basically from Briley Parkway all the way to Millersville. You got that construction in there and then some wet roads, not helping matters. Got some crashes, not helping matters. Got the left lane block, 40 eastbound near Church Street, 65 southbound at I-440. Then you've got in Madison, Gallatin Pike North near Old Hickory Boulevard, Hermitage a crash, 40 westbound at Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I did not like the idea of this $1.8 billion fund being routed around to this this committee. I understand that some of you maybe were in favor of this. I was not necessarily in favor of this. I feel like there is a proper process by which if you have been wronged, you can make that right monetarily, and that is through the court systems. We perhaps will discuss in the final hour of the show. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, 615-737-9986. I've mentioned in the past, earlier today, that Thomas Massie minions are mighty mad. They're upset, and they say they're going to do something about it. I don't really know what they're going to do about it, but Thomas Massie obviously went down in defeat from his primary earlier in the week, and we continue to talk about that. Why in the world the state of Tennessee is giving a grant to a corporation as big and with as much money as Starbucks is beyond me, but apparently we're preparing to give Starbucks $30 million to put a southeastern hub in and around Middle Tennessee. Corporate welfare is alive and well, and it's wrong. I'll make an exception here or there, but not very often, and it's generally wrong. Speaking of wrong, Nashville, have you seen this where Nashville is now, the Metro Council is now asking Nashville Electric Service to suspend canopy cutting. This is on the heels of, well, the ice storm that literally killed someone. I mean, we had, 5 deaths in the Middle Tennessee area, in the Nashville Electric Service area. And now the Metro Council of Nashville passed a resolution urging the Nashville Electric Service to, quote, place a moratorium on their tree trimming strategy, citing a series of concerns about cutting the city's, quote, tree canopy just months after the winter storm caused the largest outage in the history of the publicly owned utility, with about half of the 470,000 customers going without power at its peak. Introduced with the support of 15 members of the Metro Council, the resolution is urging Nashville Electric Service and the Electric Power Board to implement a temporary moratorium on recently announced vegetation management changes. The resolution declares Nashville's tree canopy a utility. According to the resolution, the canopy, quote, improves ambient air quality, absorbs and filters stormwater, mitigates the heat island and greenhouse impact, and provides habitat for wildlife, supports public health, provides economic benefit, and increases the quality of life for Nashville residents. Listen, if y'all want to keep your canopy, keep your canopy. I don't live in Nashville. I like my trees too. I cut down a few trees in the aftermath of the storms at the new property in Mount Pleasant. Why? Because I recognized that those trees were a danger to my family. And I did not want them to be a danger to my family. But if you in Nashville want to keep your trees, keep your trees. Just don't come complaining and moaning to me when you got the lights out for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Don't come complaining and moaning to me because Teresa Broyles-Applin doesn't know how to do her job. because you are not complaining to the right people, because if you were, she would be out of a job right now. And when I say you, I mean the citizens of Davidson County and the customers of NES. Now, mostly I'm talking about the citizens of Davidson County, because if you're outside of the county and you're a customer of NES, you really don't have any say in any of this. Sadly, it's true. It's truly taxation without representation. In the meantime, Mike's in Old Hickory, but we'll get to Larry first. Hey, Larry, how are you?
Hey, brother. Hell, I just turned 66 yesterday, so I'm living the dream.
Hey, happy birthday, Larry. That's awesome.
Thank you, sir. I'll get to why I originally called in just a second, but I grew up watching Richard Petty in that Plymouth with the big whale tail on the back end of it, the Superbird, on a black and white TV, man. And then I got away from it, for several years. And when I got back into it, my favorite driver was Dale Earnhardt.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated Jeff Gordon. I mean, I hated Jeff Gordon.
I bet you did. You know why? I know why you hated him too.
Yes, you do. If he wasn't so good, I wouldn't have cared.
That's right.
And I despised Kyle Busch for a long time, but then I got to really liking him, and I'd be pulling for him. But that being said, the reason I called, I had a guy that was working for the company that I was with, and I was a supervisor that later turned out to be a serial killer.
What?
Yes. His name was Paul Dennis Reed. And Matt, even when he was working for me, when you looked into his eyes, they were black. I mean, they were just there was just like there was no soul there at all. And his thing was, I guess he had gotten fired from a fast food restaurant. So he just went on this rampage where he was going to all these different fast food restaurants, robbing and just killing innocent workers.
What was his name again?
Paul Dennis Reed. I think it was R-E-I-D.
Wait, you worked with this dude?
He worked for me. Yeah, he was one of I was a supervisor.
I'm looking at his. I'm looking at this right now. Wow. Damn.
Yeah, and I think his death count, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I am 66 now. My memory's been gone for a while, but I think his death count turned out to be it was either 9 or 13. I can't remember.
I'm looking at a page where it says he killed 7 individuals and had 1 survivor. So officially 8, but I don't know if this is right or not.
Yeah, but he injured several others.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he was actually arrested by Cheatham County deputies.
How long did he work for you?
About a year.
Wow. And I mean, you say your interaction with him, he was a weirdo?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he just, I think weirdos.
Do you remember the time frame that he was working for you, Larry? I mean, was it, probably before?
This was right before he left. And, well, I think we actually fired him, but, he started doing that right after we let him go. And I think this was 95.
It says 94. That, in 1997, he February of 1997, entered a Captain D's, Lebanon Road.
Yeah.
And pretended to apply for a job. Once inside, he forced an employee, Sarah Jackson, and the manager, Steve Hampton, into the restaurant cooler, forced the two to lie down on the floor and shot them both and killed them. Money missing from the cash register. And then, he did a similar action at a McDonald's in March, in Hermitage. And then Baskin Robbins later on in April. Yeah. That's just awful.
Yeah. I mean, he was an odd bird. I mean, he just, and that's probably the best thing I could say about him.
Well, let me ask you this, Larry.
Yes, sir.
And it's a difficult question to ask now because we know that he was a psychopath, obviously. Did you think at the time that he had this ability, or were you kind of oblivious to it?
Well, and I have to admit, it was in the back of my mind. I mean, you know how sometimes you just get that gut feeling? I mean, I never thought it would turn into, being a serial murderer, but I thought he could go down the wrong path very easily.
Mm.
I mean, I could, I thought to myself, he's going to end up robbing places.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was...
he received 7 death sentences for his convictions.
Yeah. But but going back to the point we were talking about before about this whole damn thing with the not being able to get the second IV in, just bring back old Sparky, Matt.
Yes.
Just bring it back, and you get 5 years to get your appeal through, and after that, somebody just throw the switch.
I'm at a point now: either do it or don't. Go all in, or don't do it at all. Either decide that we're not going to execute people anymore and just throw them in prison for the rest of their lives, or for goodness sake, just do it and stop pussyfooting around it.
Exactly. All right, brother. I won't keep you no longer.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, Larry. All right, take care. I thank you for calling. 615-737-9986. Reed was on death row, 7 death sentences, the first 2 coming in 1999. Execution stayed several times. Several argued that he was mentally ill and could not make decisions on his own. His 7 death sentences are the most ever handed down to a single person in the state of Tennessee. His last execution date was scheduled for January 3rd, 2008. It was stayed in December of 2007, pending investigation into lethal injection methods. In April of 2008, the Supreme Court of the United States issued an opinion regarding the legality of lethal injection. He died on November 1st, 2013, 11 days before his 56th birthday. The cause of death, complications due to pneumonia. So he died of ultimately natural causes, I suppose, or heart failure before the state was to execute him. Mike is in Old Hickory. Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I heard you were giving Jackson the business, Mike. Why are you doing that?
Well, I'm not giving the business. It's just, did you get the hantavirus?
I do not. I did not, to my knowledge, have the hantavirus.
All right, and that was the first thing that the Democrats and media try to pass along, is that the hantavirus is going to destroy the world. Now it's Ebola, and they're now pushing Ebola, which is even worse than hantavirus. And I want to ask, what are we going to do? Because they're saying Trump won't shut the country down because of Ebola. Because we had one passenger on a jet or something that came to this country with Ebola. And so now it's going to be do we now shut the country down? Democrats want it shut down so they go to paper ballots and mail-in ballots for the midterms, because you don't want to stand in line with people with Ebola. And number 2, why is Donald Trump always giving Iran a lifeline? He gave him another lifeline today. The evil empire of this world, and Donald Trump keeps giving them a lifeline. Why?
What do you think we should do?
Bomb the hell out of him. Do what he said he was going to do, end it, get the uranium out of there, and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you said you're going to do. Stop this. I'm going to give him a 2-week ceasefire, 3 weeks, now 2 days, now maybe 10 days. He looks weak. Trump looks weak. We've already expended a lot of munitions. When he said, look, we destroyed their Navy, destroyed their Air Force, destroyed everything. Apparently we have not. So did he lie to us? So now he's going to have to come back and redo the job over again over the last 6 weeks while allowing Iran to re-up.
What do you want? What do you want us to bomb?
I want Carg Island. That's it.
Okay.
Take Carg Island, and you know what?
You want us to bomb Carg Island?
I want to take Carg Island.
Oh, okay.
So,
we got to put. I'm just hold on. I'm just trying to understand you. So we're going to take Carg Island, and that means we have to hold that island. So we have to put military personnel on the island to keep the island, right?
Do you know how big that island is?
No. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that island can be patrolled by less than 1,000 Marines.
All right, so we're going to take Carg Island. We're going to take over Carg Island. Okay, what else?
And then you go in and take out the 4th and 5th and 6th heads of the snake. You get rid of them because they're not going to go away. A snake keeps growing. It keeps shedding its skin and grows again.
Yeah.
Trump is really kind of being duped. Trump is being duped. He took out the top 1 or 2 or 3. He needs to take out the last of the snake.
Okay. All right. Anything to finish it up. Anything to finish it up. I'm with you, Mike.
Yes.
Anything to finish it up.
Yes, and here it is.
Now
go this weekend, and it's Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Millions have died to keep our country free, so that you and I can talk like this. And so Iran is not going to allow that if they get a nuclear weapon.
So
that just celebrate this weekend of our troops and our military that have kept us free.
Now, one final question, Mike, unrelated to the subject at hand. You ready? What do you have against nincompoops in the news?
It's just stupid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I really don't care about people pooping in their pants, and I really don't care about women running around with their underwear on their heads and all that.
Okay.
You know,
that's fair. Look, that's fair.
That,
asked and answered. That's fair. That's a fair criticism of one of the more popular segments of the show. Fair.
Well, if it is, Matt, I'm sorry to tell you this, but if that's a popular thing in your listenership, they're pretty stupid people.
Ooh.
If that's all I want to hear.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I mean, Mike, don't ask questions that you don't want answers to, and I asked the question and you gave me an answer. You hear that, Jackson? Mike does not care for nincompoops in the news because he doesn't care about hearing about people pooping in their pants. Mike probably has enough of that going on in his regular life that he doesn't care to hear about it. And he doesn't care about hearing about women wearing panties on their heads. Once again, Mike probably does that enough in his private time that he doesn't need to hear about those types of stories. Jackson, I told Mike that it was one of the more popular segments that we do on the show, and he said that just means the audience is stupid. Oh, there you go. Asked and answered. 24 after the hour, Loretta, Don, and Mike, not necessarily in that order, on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hi, friends. USS is United Structural Systems, and they are good at what they do. And, friends, I want you to give them a call. I did when I moved into my home. If you are concerned, if you've noticed any sort of shifting of your home, I mean, obviously, if you've noticed cracks in the walls, in the basement, if you've noticed a musty smell or a moldy smell in the basement or crawl space, you need to do something about it. You need to get to USS and get them on your side and on your team. They are your local foundation and waterproofing experts and have been since 1994. 30,000 local homeowners have trusted USS. That experience means that they've seen every type of problem imaginable. Every crack and leak tells a story, and they learn from those stories. USS knows what those signs mean. Foundation settlement, basement water intrusion, crawl space moisture, these are trouble signs, and you need to deal with them. Expert diagnosis from people who know Tennessee homes. No guesswork with USS. United Structural Systems. Book your home inspection today at USSTN.com. USSTN.com problem solvers, experienced local. USS. Sally writes in, I've not vetted this story, so I'm not going to use the name. But I trust Sally. I worked with a guy in Fairview, Tennessee. Nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. His wife left him, and for 2 months, everyone was feeling sorry for him, taking care of business for him, helping him with the kids and whatnot, as you would do if your wife leaves you. He then moved to Alabama, and we discovered, or should I say, he left a note admitting to killing his wife and cutting her up into pieces. Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you, there's a reason that they always say, oh, he was the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. I had no idea. My goodness gracious. Yeah, a lot of times they can fool you. Mike is up next. Hey, Mike.
Hey, am I on?
Yes, sir.
Hey. I've never been on radio in a while. Now, the Paul Reed story. I dated a girl in the early 90s, and she was best friends that went to school with Sarah Jackson. And Steve, he worked at Captain D's in Hermitage, and actually Sarah worked at Captain D's in Donaldson. And they would swap up, work different stores. But Paul, actually, I guess he slit their throats, stabbed them to death. I seen him at a party before that happened in Hermitage off of Terry Lane, and like that guy said before you, his he had black eyes, soulless eyes.
Mm.
I mean, like he's a tall dude, black hair. I remember. I don't mean to. I hope I didn't cuss it. I remember looking when I walked in that door. He was pretty, heads above people. He's a tall guy, short hair, short black hair, kind of clean cut, but looked like the devil. Looked like demonic eyes, like that guy said before.
Wow.
Soulless. I mean, I saw his eye. I didn't meet him. I didn't want to talk to him, but I saw him. And he murdered 2 people I knew. I knew them people. Well, I never met Sarah but once. But I sold a motorcycle to Steve. Steve worked at Captain D's in Hermitage.
Yeah. But, that's the first people that he was convicted of killing, yeah.
Right. And then he killed the people at McDonald's in Hermitage, right 3 doors down.
Yeah.
And the only reason he got put in prison because of one of the Mexican, Mexican girl, I think she's Mexican or something. He slit her throat. He cut everybody with knife. He didn't shoot nobody. He stabbed them to death. And he cut her throat, and she lived. And identified him, put him in prison.
So
Brush him out. He went to Brush him out.
When the McDonald's deal happened, did people immediately recognize that it was the same guy that did the Captain D's?
So.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But then remember, he went to Clarksville to Baskin Robbins, and they found the billfold of Steve and Sarah. He stabbed them, killed them, and robbed them. He killed Sarah and Steve before they opened, okay? He went down Lebanon Road, and he worked there. He worked at that Captain D's. He worked at Shoney's first on Donaldson Pike. Then he was working at that Captain D's, and on Sunday morning or Saturday, even before they opened, they were prepping. My buddy Allen, God bless, he's dead too, but but they were prepping, and Steve was a prepper. They were prepping the restaurant. Somebody banged on the back door. It was him. He pushed his way in, bam, stabbed Steve, and slit Sarah's throat. And Steve was.
I will say one thing, and Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt the story, but I do have to run to the news. Ken Weaver's waiting on the news, but according to the article that I'm reading from, he did shoot people. He shot all of his victims, Sarah, Steve, and all of the victims at the McDonald's. So I'm not trying to. I mean, you were here, I was not here. I'm just trying to make sure that we have the story straight. 33 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little a little
Okay.
further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls and causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, what, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and
Sure.
schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt,
All
we
right.
appreciate you.
We've been talking about the tragic death of Kyle Busch at the age of 41, and it just reminds us that we are fragile creatures and we don't have a guaranteed next day. Bottom line is you've got to keep up with your health, friends. We don't know what happened to Kyle, but I do know someone that can help you, a company that can help you make sure that you are doing A-OK inside of your own body, and that's Craft Body Scan. We talk about them all the time. Craft Body Scan is quick, it's non-invasive, and you walk out with real answers. A couple's heart and lung scan is only $99. There's a reason that they're offering a $2,500 valued scan at less than $100, because they want you to get this scan. They want you to come by. They want to see you. They want you to take advantage of this special opportunity so you know what's going on inside of your body. You'll catch things very early on, and the likelihood of a successful outcome is far greater if you do. And most likely, most often, they give you the clean bill of health. They tell you that everything's A-OK with you and your body. TogetherWeScan.com, promo code MATT50. TogetherWeScan.com, promo code MATT50. Call 615-436-1000 for more info. 615-436-1000. Tell them I sent you to Craft Body Scan. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I am against corporate welfare. I've mentioned that I don't like the idea of giving Starbucks a $30 million tax break or tax abatement or benefit or grant or whatever we want to call it. But I will admit that watching the demise of Seattle and watching Starbucks consider pulling out of that city is a wonderful thing to watch. Their socialist mayor, Katie Wilson, made an about-face on Starbucks, fueling fresh fear that her politics and anti-business rhetoric is basically pushing jobs out of the city. Once again, this is a wake-up call and a warning to those in charge in Nashville. You need to be business-friendly. Cepiki said it earlier today. Imagine for a moment what Nashville could do with more conservative leadership, more business-friendly leadership that recognizes that property taxes causes pain, or increases like we've seen in our property taxes causes far more pain than good. In the meantime, Starbucks is putting $100 million into a major Tennessee expansion, planning thousands of new jobs here, reigniting concerns that they are planning to board up in terms of their headquarters in Seattle. Wilson urged, for those that don't know, the mayor of Seattle urged residents to boycott Starbucks, which is such a stupid thing to say. But she doesn't really care about business now, does she? In the meantime, Loretta is next. Hello, Loretta. Thank you for calling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm just wonderful. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, prayers to Kyle Busch's family.
Absolutely. It's very sad. It's so very sad.
It is. Big NASCAR fan. Wasn't a fan of his, but, still sad.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah.
So let's get back to the guy that was on death row that couldn't find a vein.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the protocol is still the same. It's potassium chloride. You never push potassium chloride because you know why? It'll kill you because it goes straight to your heart.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why you need a vein to push it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to look at it. I've read this in the past, Loretta. I don't know what the specific. I know that there's protocol where they want to knock you out. They want you to be unconscious before they.
So we're going to be humane to those who want.
Well, right. I mean, I'm not saying I promote this. I'm just trying to explain how the process works.
Oh, I know how it works. Actually, I do. I'm just saying that. Again, so we have another year, thanks to Governor Lee, that we get to support him.
Yeah, horrible mistake by the governor. I don't understand why he had to give him an additional year. If it was a matter of veins, then we just need to get him in a hospital and get him vein ready, and then let's do the deed. Let's go,
Well, and again, you can't find a vein. Guess what? They have scanners where you can't find a vein. They have an ultrasound little scanner. You can find a vein to give somebody an IV.
No, I mean, you won't get any argument from me, Loretta. If you condemn the man to death by a jury of his peers and it's been this long of time, let's get it done. Let's go. Let's make it happen,
Exactly. So let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel? I believe it was, it's one of those states, Idaho or Iowa or somewhere, that they're bringing out the firing squad for the death penalty.
I like it. I like it.
Hanging?
Hanging's fine. I mean, look, if we're going to do the death penalty by any means that a state decides, I mean, I'm fine with hanging. I'm fine with firing squad. I'm fine with electric chair, lethal injection. If lethal injection has become, they moved to lethal injection years ago because it was, quote unquote, the more humane way of killing people. And now all of these do-gooder organizations that don't want the death penalty at all, their complaints about lethal injection are because they don't like the death penalty at all. I mean, so they're just going to move on to the next thing if you find another way to kill somebody through execution after being convicted of a heinous crime like murder or whatnot. So I say go to the next thing. I'm fine with it. It's fine.
Yeah. And so here's actually the whole point of the story is here you have all these people defending the one that did the heinous crime. And yes, God does forgive. But that's between God and the person that did this. My point is what about those people that didn't have a choice because they weren't, I mean, somebody just came and killed them or whatever, you know? Or, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, definitely. But my point is that where's the sympathy for the ones that were taken?
Well, it's one of the things, and Loretta, great call, and thank you for making it. It's one of the things that I try to do when these death penalty cases come up from time to time in Tennessee. I did this in Alabama as well. We try to focus on the victims of the crime as opposed to the perpetrator of the crime. I could give a damn about the perpetrator of the crime. They're heinous murderers that have been convicted by a jury of their peers and sentenced to death by a jury or judge in good standing with the state in which they are in. And I'm willing to be the guy that engages in carrying out that penalty, that ultimate penalty. I'm fine with that. Most are fine with that. Sadly, we have become so namby-pamby that we bend over backwards to consider the humanity of the individual that has been convicted of the crime, that we don't give any peace or comfort to the family members that are still here in the aftermath of the pain that this individual caused. And I mean, it's just stupid. It's just gross. Don is next. Hey, Don.
John Henderson or Don?
I said Don, but I don't know. Is that your name?
John would be my name.
Okay, John.
Matt Murphy, it's great talking to you again.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to, we kind of went off topic, and it's kind of been down the road, and I don't have information in front of me, so I can't do my homework and verify it's 100% true. But I did see something online that it's amazing how these viruses like Ebola and COVID, they're all popping up, and they all have a 6-year window. Everything from COVID, before that was SARS, before that was swine flu, everything's been coming around almost exactly on a presidential midterm. It's quite amazing.
Wait, what is happening now?
Well, between we had COVID in 2021, and now they're talking about Ebola, hantavirus, all kinds of diseases that they want to put a fear in us. And as soon as they bring it up, they're going to do the first thing they always do, blame Trump. But I also want to say on a side note, Matt, I started following you on the Facebook, started following 99.7, and Mr. Ken Weaver, football, and I love how he does a prayer. God bless the man. He does a prayer every now and then, and it's an inspiring thing. You guys have a great show. I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, thank you, brother.
And you have a great day. Have a great show. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, John. Yeah, it's a little bit curious. I think that these things are naturally cyclical. I don't necessarily think they're being planned for any particular political outcome. I do believe that individuals involved in the aftermath of COVID-19 tried to exploit that to their own governmental and political advantage. And the government tried to seize control of the general population through COVID. And we saw the results. Thank God the American people pushed back on the idea of being controlled by nanny state government who tried to tell us that we could or could not do certain things. And we're like, no, we're going to do our own thing. Thank you very much. And there are many states, and, say what you will about Governor Bill Lee's response. I wasn't here at the time. I was in Alabama. Governor Bill Lee was a model for Alabama. Florida was a model for all of us. But Governor Bill Lee was a model for Alabama in terms of pushing things to get back open. I understand that there were pockets where they couldn't do that, but there were no good answers at that time. Some states responded better than others. Some regions responded better than others. It's 10 until the top. We'll get more of your calls in here and wrap things up on this, a Thursday edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy here for Accurate Mortgage. Mike and his team, they're great at helping you find the most for your mortgage, whatever your situation might be. If you're looking for a new home, there's only one that I would recommend. I mean, you got to have a mortgage company, right? Accurate Mortgage should be the mortgage company, go-to company in this area. They are local. They absolutely love their friends and their neighbors. They want to help you find the right home for you. They'll just walk you through the process, navigate you through the process. It'll be as easy as pie. You're not just a number to make a quick buck. They'll never, ever, 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 ever advise you to do a loan that doesn't make sense for you financially. And you'll understand it before you put your signature, your John Hancock, if you will, on the bottom line. Now, buying a home is one reason. A refinance for cash out to renovate your house is another reason that you might want to contact Accurate Mortgage. Or if you want to pay off some high-interest credit card debt, let the loan advisors at Accurate help you find the right long-term and loan solution for you and your family. There's so many different examples, and I could spend all evening on them. Adam in Nashville was able to pay off all of his consumer credit card debt, personal loans, and refi from 15 into a 30-year, and he saved $1,100 a month in doing so. These are the examples that they can provide on a daily basis at Accurate Mortgage. AccurateMTG.com, AccurateMTG.com, NMLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender. Many of you commenting that firing squad is the way to go. What was this? Yay, firing squad. Most humane. Aim well. Boys. Well, that's sexist. There could be women on the firing squad. You never know. Also, this, there out of Franklin, Tennessee, there was a request for attendance for May 22nd, tomorrow. 3 veterans laid to rest at the Middle Tennessee State Veterans Cemetery. We've done this in the past, and it's very, very touching, very tender. These men have no known family to be present on their behalf, so it is up to the community to ensure they are not alone. Remember, we did this once before, and I was so just, it touched my heart how many people came out. We invite anyone who is able to attend to help honor their service. Mr. Jesse Williams, U.S. Navy, Mr. Owen Thompson, U.S. Army, Mr. Robert Hoover, U.S. Army. Your presence would be meaningful, a gesture of respect and remembrance for these veterans. The location, McCrory Lane in Nashville. That's Middle Tennessee State Veterans Cemetery at 1 p.m. tomorrow. 1 p.m. tomorrow. There is a request for attendance. Now, this is coming from the Franklin, Tennessee, I guess, Facebook page. And it is a request for attendance. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., 3 veterans laid to rest at Middle Tennessee State Veterans Cemetery. Thank you to the wonderful listener that sent that in, making me aware of it. I hope that you're able to attend. Barry is next. Hello, Barry.
How you doing, Matt?
Good, Barry. I hope you are.
I'm doing great. I wanted to comment about the incentives that given businesses. I know a couple of days ago somebody had mentioned Ultium Sales in Spring Hill, how they received all the money. They're actually bringing all of their people back, but it's going to be kind of controversial because they've changed to new batteries now that going to be used for backup for data centers instead of for electric vehicles.
Wait, what is?
The batteries that were being made at Ultium Cells.
Yeah.
They're changing to new batteries now that are going to be used for backup for data centers.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people are kind of upset about them helping the data centers expand, but
so are we at a place now where, I mean, I understand that people don't want data centers in their community. I understand that data centers are suckers of energy, and thank you, Barry, for the call. But I mean, the Ultium Cells factory is not being used right now, and it's going to hire people. I mean, so we're going to take a stand against data centers completely. I got news for y'all. All of y'all that use AI on your phone, you're a part of the data center. Every single one of you. If you use a smartphone, you're in on this. So until you, I mean, I'm not talking to anyone specific, but until you throw down your smartphone, I don't know that we can stand on the moral high ground and condemn those that work at the battery factory, can we? No offense to you, though, caller. I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being with us. Friday edition coming tomorrow. Friday coming tomorrow. Until next time, Jackson Williams, Ken Weaver, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.